Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Zucker, and welcome to the Home Depot SEC on CBS Doubleheader Day. Coming up next, it's South Carolina and Florida. Then at 3:30 Eastern, it's number 9 Auburn and Georgia. The Tigers sit just one game behind Alabama in the West as they go for a 7th straight win. Over on CBS Sports Network, a quadruple header, including Tulsa and Navy right now, and ending tonight with San Diego State and Nevada. Coming up, it's game 1 of our doubleheader, South Carolina and Florida, right after this message and a word from your local station.
I will defend
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot, Progressive, Bud Light, and by Chick-fil-A.
And that is the sign that welcomes you to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida. We are at the Swamp, and it's the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Our matchup in the SEC East, the Gamecocks of South Carolina against the Gators of Florida. Standings in the SEC, Florida still controls its own destiny. But after last week, it's a precarious spot as they lost badly at Arkansas. Still, they've got the tiebreaker over Kentucky. They need a win at home where they're perfect this season. Here come the Gators. "16 seniors for Florida coming out of that tunnel for the last time. And here's a guy that knows a little bit about the home locker room and the visitors' locker room. Will Muschamp and his South Carolina Gamecocks coming in here, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. They've won 4 of the last 6 over Florida. And we welcome you, everybody, to Gainesville. Brad Nussler, along with Aaron Taylor. John Schriffen will join us on the sideline shortly. AT, a lot of plot lines in this game. First of all, South Carolina wants to get bowl eligible. Will's coming back. Jim McElwain's trying to straighten the ship out a little bit after what we saw a week ago. They can still win the East. And now both coaches have to do it with quarterbacks that didn't even start the season for them.
Yeah, they do. And we were talking about it. You kind of get the feeling that today's game is a critical crossroad game for both of these teams, where a win could kind of springboard them down the stretch for a good start. Now, Austin Appleby, he's getting his first start since a Vandy game. He's got a big arm that could push the ball down the field vertically, and that would be a welcome addition to this Gator offense. And how about Jake Bentley, the true freshman? Will Muschamp telling us the impressive start has made them better on both sides of the ball, but he's a freshman on the road going against a feisty defense, so communication and decision-making will be key.
4.5 years separates those quarterbacks in age. And oh, by the way, Will Muschamp spent the better part of 4 years as a head coach here at Florida. He returns as the head man of the Gamecocks. Riding a 3-game winning streak from Columbia comes South Carolina. Florida needs a win at home to stay in the SEC East race. We'll kick it off when we come back. Just about set for the kick. Before we do, third member of our team, John Schriffen. John.
Well, Brad, Florida comes into this one severely banged up after their last game, a loss at Arkansas. 5 of the starters in that game will not be able to play here today. Now, Coach McElwain told us this team is still trying to find their identity, so it is a huge loss not having their offensive leader, quarterback Luke Del Rio. He's been nursing a shoulder and knee injury most of the season. He will also be without his center, Cameron Dillard, injured his left knee against Arkansas. Now, the defensive losses, these are huge. These linebackers, Jared Davis and Alex Anzalone, 2 of the best in the country. You will see them play in the NFL. They won't be there. But, guys, I did notice before the game, 5 of these injured players were out here coaching up their replacements because the freshmen will play a big role here today.
Guys, John, thanks. South Carolina won the toss. They want the football. So Eddie Pinheiro will kick it off. And we're underway in Gainesville. Deebo Samuel, 2 yards deep, will bring it out. And he got popped as he hit the 15-yard line, and that's where South Carolina will go to work. As we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. Well, we talked about this guy already. Aaron did a bit. Impressive young man, Jake Bentley. Actually would be a senior in high school right now. Graduated from high school early, came in here. He's not turned the ball over. No interceptions, 6 touchdowns, coming off a career game last week in the win over Missouri, and 3-0 as a starter. Going to work from a tough spot, though, just inside his own 16. Rico Dowdle joins him in the South Carolina backfield. Trips to the top of your screen. A little confusion in that backfield right now between the 2 freshmen. They will run it with Dowell. Final little crease, follows his blockers nicely. Gets out around the 23-yard line. As we take a look at the rest of the offense, where young guy, you need some help up front, AT.
No doubt. Head coach Will Muschamp told us that they were going to be hard-headed about the run today, even if it looks ugly early. So keep an eye on the left guard, Zach Bailey. He's a tough, physical, tone-setting offensive lineman that loves to pull.
Right up the middle this time, and Florida is equal to the task as Joey Ivey made the stop. Florida defensively, as John talked about, they lose a lot of experience in those linebacker spots.
Yeah, that certainly was a huge blow to the third best defense in the country a week ago. So a key factor in today's game will be how well Tylen Johnson and David Reese replace the production, leadership, and communication of two of the best defenders in the country.
South Carolina, the worst in the conference in third down conversions at 32%. Third down and a long two. Straight up the middle. They're not going to get it. About 2 feet shy, it appears. And that's going to bring out the punting unit. So Florida holds defensively on the opening series.
The Gamecocks had some success early on with a pin and pull scheme, meaning trying to pin the defenders and pull some linemen out in front, getting to the perimeter. Tough yards up inside, but the perimeter is something the Gamecocks will go back to.
That's Antonio Callaway. He awaits the punt of Sean Kelly. And Callaway should have a shot at this one from the 30-yard line. Made the first man miss, and the second, and the third, and got about 14 yards on the return. That's going to set up Florida nicely field position-wise after a 45-yard punt and a 14-yard return. As we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. And here's Austin Appleby. He's been in this situation before on a senior day. Grad transfer from Purdue, where he played a lot of football. Was impressive, especially in the first half against Tennessee, and then the things kind of got shaky in the second half.
Yeah, they kind of settled down a little bit. Why they were successful in that game is they took some deep shots early. They ran the football to the edges, particularly on the left. The screen game was going, and really good first half there on the red zone. Appleby's got a big arm. We talked about him getting Callaway and Powell more involved. Expect some deep shots here early for the Gators today.
Jordan Scarlett's with him in the backfield as Powell is on the move. They fake the handoff to him, and Scarlett off the right side. He's got a nice game, pickup of 6. We'll bring up second down at 4 as we take a look at the Florida offense and the guys they have to get involved.
Yeah, well, certainly with a new quarterback, they're going to look to establish the run. But Coach McElwain told us that they have to get wide receivers Antonio Callaway and Brandon Powell more involved, particularly in space. Only 85 combined yards between this duo a week ago, and I think that needs to at least double today for them to be productive offensively.
There's a Florida Gator down at its center, Tyler Jordan, and you talk about a guy they can't lose because their starter, as John already told you, out of this game. They would have to go to a third center or a guard to come over. We'll see how they do that with a man down. We'll return in just a second. You don't want your number 2 center going down when your starter's already out with an injury.
You certainly don't. Tyler Jordan filling in for Cam Dillard, so that means that T.J. McCoy, a second-year player, is going to have his hands full in a home game. This offensive line is young and athletic and physical, but they haven't been able to finish as well as they would like. You're going to watch on the right side of your screen the double teams. There he is, 64 on the left, Jordan. Right here, players falling into his legs, man. When you play in the trenches, Brad, it is dangerous down there. That's why you see these linemen wear those big knee braces. But unfortunately, Tyler Jordan getting rolled up on means the Gators are down another player.
Pretty similar to what happened to Dillard last week at Arkansas when his own guy David Sharp, the left tackle, rolled up on him. So now here, pressure's on T.J. McCoy, who redshirted last year, originally enrolled at North Carolina State. He did play some center as a senior in high school, but this is not the way Jim McElwain wanted his offensive line to be playing right now.
No, and take a look. They got a nose tackle lined up right over him. They're going to test him out of the gate.
Empty backfield on second down and 4 for Appleby. Quick look, a quick throw, a nice catch for a first down. And it goes to Seontae Lewis. Pickup of 11, and they'll move the sticks into South Carolina territories. We take a look at their defense, and they're pretty strong at linebacker and safety.
Yeah, they've really improved over the last couple of weeks, and a big reason why is safety Chris Moody. He's a converted linebacker that led his team with 11 tackles and an interception a week ago. He's active around the line of scrimmage and needs to set the tone early for a physical group of defensive backs, I think, that need to be heavily involved today in both the run and throw game.
Michael Pirine in the Florida backfield for the first time. 3 receivers to the right. It's going to be a keeper by Appleby, and this is the dimension he adds on the run. Inside the 20 and down to the 6. A pickup of 33 by the Gator quarterback.
We talked about the athleticism. They're going to read this player. He's going to come in. Nobody's going to have contained. That's going to allow Austin Appleby, the quarterback, on a simple zone read. Beautifully designed. There's nobody there on the second level. Just creating beautiful walls and showing you that athleticism early on. To get a big pickup being inside the 10-yard line, that's a great way to start for this offense. Appleby's presence being felt here early already.
Appleby, his 12th carry of the season, by far his biggest. A pickup of 33. It's first and goal. He's going to roll and throw. Got 9 in the flat. It's Lewis. Touchdown. Deontay Lewis, much like a couple of weeks ago against Georgia, on the receiving end of a touchdown toss from Appleby. And for Austin Appleby, his 4th scoring pass of the season.
That's a great way to start for this Florida Gator offense. They've really struggled less than 300 yards a week ago. They make the change at quarterback a couple big plays later. The Gators up here early, about to be 7-0.
Piñeiro's extra point, wobbly, did he make it? It hit the crossbar and a knuckleball and got over. Shaky, but the 7th point is good. Another look at the extra points. Hold looked okay. Somebody must have gotten a hand on it, and it hit the crossbar and it made it through. But here is the run that set up the touchdown. Appleby, a 33-yard scamper on a zone read for the quarterback. And then he says, I can throw it too. Out in the flat to his big tight end. Lewis scores, and Florida with the early lead. The chomp has started in Gainesville. 7-0 Gators. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to South Carolina, Florida, or your favorite team. From signing day to game day, you'll get instant coverage of every moment from every angle. Download the CBS Sports app today. Here's another look at that extra point, and getting a big pawn. It was Uric Jones, who has the only other block kick this year for South Carolina, but he didn't get quite enough of it. 56 yards in 4 plays. The scoring toss. Deontay Lewis from Austin Appleby, and Florida with a 7-0 lead. Eddie Piñeiro set to kick off for the 2nd time today. And Vito Samuel just let that one go. Let's take a look at our Home Depot tools for success, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, the future is bright for the South Carolina Gamecocks, and a big reason why is true freshman running back Rico Dowdle. He's an impressive freshman that can run through contact, but he's also got good vision and the ability with some quick feet to be able to jump cut and evade defenders. He's a big reason why the South Carolina offense has been able to stay balanced and really leverage the playmaking ability of Jake Bentley and Deebo Samuel.
Rico's at back-to-back games of over 100 yards, including a career game against Missouri last week in both carries and yards. He went 27 for 149 and a touchdown last week. And he gets dropped for a loss of a couple here. Caleb Brantley, number 57. Such a presence on that inside wall for Florida.
He's one of the better 3 techniques in this conference, meaning he plays over the outside edge of the guard. He's so quick off the snap, both versus the run and the pass. And here, just an impossible block to try and reach him. He sets contain, forces Dowdle to cut back so the pursuit can get him down.
So it puts him behind the sticks with a freshman quarterback. Remember, all of Jake Bentley's wins have come at home. 5 straight home games in Columbia. Now he's in the swamp. Little slip screens too high. Lucky that one didn't get intercepted. Deebo Samuel got a hand on it. It's going to be 3rd and long.
One of the things we love about Deebo Samuel is his ability to run nice, crisp routes. He's got pretty good hands, but that ball just had a lot of mustard on it. It was too high. The timing looked a little bit off there, too. And here's a nice 3rd and long situation if you're the Florida Gators to pin your ears back and get after the quarterback.
We already told you 32%. It's a little below that now after failing on their first 3rd down situation of the day. They'll have to earn this one. 3rd down and a dozen. Looked like there was movement on the line. No flag. Bentley got away somehow, and then on the run gets out close to the 30-yard line. I'm not sure how he escaped. Brian Cox had him in his sights.
I think he's going to be offsides. But Malik Young may have moved as well, the left tackle, but I think he was responding to Caleb Brantley's movement initially.
Let's see what the call is. Brad Rogers, our referee.
Offside. Defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 3rd down.
Good call, partner.
Well, I've been down there enough. It can go either way, but one of the things he's so good about as defensive lineman is his takeoff and get off, but this brings up now a 3rd and manageable situation, which erases the 2 previous good plays by this Gator defense.
Brian Cox Jr. throwing that big club on his hand. 3rd down, 7 this time. Down the middle, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. That would have been a 1st down, and it was Jaden Hurst, normally sure-handed. He had 35 catches from that tight end spot, but Marcus May made the hit. That ball came out.
Hurst was a player that Will Muschamp told us basically embodies what he wants his entire roster to look like. He's got work ethic. He's a competitor, blue collar, but that is a catch you absolutely have to make on 3rd down on the road.
So back-to-back 3 and outs in another punting situation for Kelly. South Carolina shifting at a man short on that top on the gunner team. Wow, what a punt. Callaway backs up all the way to the 10-yard line. Again, he's going to get a decent return out of it there. There was nobody to help out. Antonio Callaway all the way out to the 42, maybe the 43-yard line. So he again sets up his offense with great field position after a 32-yard punt return. Seasoned, I'd say so. From the early beginnings at Eastern Washington to the recent command of the Gator Nation, Coach Mack defines persistence coast to coast. For Will, well, his career is more regionalized, yet he's always been on the move. He returns to a place that was bittersweet at best. So while their success is subjective, no one can question their purpose and passion for the game of college football. Will on the left went 28-21 in his time here in Gainesville, 17-15 in the SEC. Jim McElwain last year, Mac 10 games in the win column, and that is the first Florida coach to be able to accomplish that in their inaugural season. So again, good starting field position for the Gators thanks to Antonio Callaway. Quick play fake, throw out to Callaway. And he's got it inside the 45-yard line. Callaway has 7 catches of 20 yards or more this year. 5 of those were off the arm of Appleby.
Yeah, those two seem to have a connection early on in that Tennessee game. Man, he hit Callaway on 2 deep shots along the sideline and then came back a little bit later in the second quarter, hit Tyree Cleveland as well. So Appleby making his presence felt already, not only with his legs, but he seems to have a connection with these Gator receivers, which should make Florida fans pretty happy.
Gators one play and right back into South Carolina territory. Here's a handoff, and here comes the end around. Whoops, Powell slipped and fell, and he lost about 7 yards, maybe 8.
That was a touchdown, Brad. If he doesn't slip, that was a heck of a play. The defense over-pursued tremendously. Take a look at everybody overreacts to the right. They rotate their safeties. There's nobody home. He just slips. He's got blockers down here downfield. Oh, Powell just loses his footing.
Slipped right on the middle tooth of the Gator at midfield. Second down and 18. Appleby looks left, comes back to a slip screen on the right. Broken tackle by Swain, and he's going to get a first down. Freddie Swain, the freshman, weaves his way for 19 yards.
And that may be injured Chris Moody, the safety that we featured at the Open, went down on that play after a really nice executed screen by the Gators.
8:43 remaining first quarter. Florida with the lead. We'll be back.
Adam Zucker in New York with this Advocare update after the shutout on LSU. #1 Alabama going for their 22nd straight win, facing Mississippi State. Jalen Hurts 6 of 7 in the early going, including the touchdown to Calvin Ridley. Mississippi State just missed a field goal. It's 10-0 Alabama. That was the final score last week. Brad, Aaron, and John.
They got a long way to go, Adam, in this one, though. Last week in that LSU game, 10-0. Alabama, of course, atop the SEC West. Auburn right there playing Georgia in the doubleheader of our games here on CBS today, and that will set up a gigantic Iron Bowl should they continue to win. There's Chris Moody being helped off. And you probably only want to look at this replay once, to be honest with you. That we'll show you shortly. But his day is probably done. He was one of our key players coming in after, as Aaron said, a career game last year, going to win over Missouri. Meanwhile, after that 20-yard pickup, 1st and 10, quick throw out to Josh Herman, and Herman doing his thing. Hit a couple of guys, Smith got near the 22-yard line. DJ Smith brings him down. And again, we take you back to the Moody injury. And right there. Leaders of the defense for South Carolina. Big loss for Will Muschamp's defense. Right now, Austin Appleby's on a roll. 4 different receivers on a 5-for-5 day for 60 yards and a touchdown. Mark Thompson in the backfield on short yardage here. 2nd down, a yard. Right up the middle. And a first down at the 19-yard line. Ball came out. South Carolina's got it. Jamarcus King. That's one thing where South Carolina's been great this year defensively in the red zone, and here it comes again.
That's a huge play if it holds up, and it looks like it will. Ball security is so important, but that ball certainly looks like it comes out. He just fumbles it, and then King jumps on it. That's
Fumble came in the red zone, but it squirts all the way out to the 24-yard line, and that's where South Carolina takes over. So big stop there.
Oh, here's a sudden change opportunity for this South Carolina offense that went 2 and out or 3 and out on its first 2 drives. 6 plays, 7 yards on their first 2 possessions total. As you see Jake Bentley changing up the play.
Bentley has yet to complete a pass here at the midway point of the first quarter. Got a chance here. Deep sideline, overshot everybody. Was Deebo Samuel, who was the closest to that pass.
Being covered that time by number 6, Quincy Wilson. One of a pair of really good cornerbacks. A lot of NFL scouts. As I was having my meal of biscuits and gravy and eggs before this game, we were sitting there talking about those guys, and they're both extremely talented, athletic cornerbacks. And that Wilson-Samuel matchup is one to keep our eyes on today.
2nd down at 10, empty backfield, 5 receivers set for Bentley. Wants to throw a screen to the top and does. And Samuel's got bumpers. Deebo Samuel all the way out near midfield. In fact, he's in Florida territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, we talked about that offensive line, and Zach Bailey, the left guard, going to come out here and get a key block right there, and some other key blocks downfield, but getting your athletes the football in space is working effectively here on this drive for the Gamecocks.
Samuel, who had a career-high game a week ago as well. 9 catches for 125 yards. And he picks up 29 and gets the Gamecocks into Florida territory for the first time.
I'm wondering if somebody took a timeout. We didn't see that called, but there's some discussion going on.
injured guy down. We didn't see it. South Carolina on the move, trailing by 7.
Welcome back to Gainesville, where the Gators are up 7-0. There was a stoppage of play because of Marcus May. Keep your eye on him. He goes to make the tackle on Deebo Samuels, but misses and appears to land on his shoulder. A little bit funny making that tackle, now being tended to by the training staff of the Gators. That's a huge loss from Jawan Taylor, number 29, a true freshman, likely his replacement.
Meanwhile, South Carolina has it in Florida territory for the first time at the 47. Donald. Nice run on the left side, picked up 5. I'm not sure I want to be a guy that you highlight today. You picked Chris Moody and Marcus May. They're both on the sideline with injuries. Don't put my name out there, okay?
I'm the jinx. Well, hey, coming over here in the golf cart, you almost went down.
Oh, yeah. Kept my balance.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what. Brad Nessler has the balance and dexterity that would make Rico Dowdle look shameful.
Second down and 4. Here's Bentley, rolls, lobs one, and that just ends up almost in the crowd.
Hey, if you're Jake Bentley, that is a positive play. You get a plus on that. There's nothing there. You need to
foul for ground. They come back outside the tackle box.
Just get rid of it. You're in a third medium situation on the road. That was a really nice decision. We talked about communication and decision-making being important for him. He's done a pretty good job so far.
Yep. Third down and 4.
Hayden Hurst at the slot up at the top.
Out the front to Browder, drops in his tracks by the Florida defense. 3 guys there to meet him. First one was David Reese, the freshman linebacker, and he got help from his friends. It will be 4th down.
Well, David Reese, remember, he's the one that's replacing Jared Davis. Good job of recognizing the screen pass. That was one of the keys that the Gators wanted to do. When we talked to defensive coordinator Jeff Collins, they were impressed with their screen game. The best way to do that is to sniff it out and get to the ball carrier before he turns, and that's exactly what Reese did.
You're behind Sean Kelly, the punter, who had too good a punt last time, a 61-yarder that Antonio Callaway returned 32 yards. This time, the end-over-end job to try to pin it down around the 5, and Callaway makes the catch right at the 5-yard line. 5:50 remaining in the first quarter. Florida in front on senior day. Alex Anzalone, one of the best linebackers not only in the SEC but in the country, injured. Austin Appleby, one of the 16 seniors making that walk today on senior day here at the Swamp. And there's Jared Davis, great linebacker who's got a great future ahead of him at the next level in the NFL. But you know, you almost teared up talking about senior day when we were together the other night. It's a really special moment, isn't it?
It certainly is, man. It's really the culmination of the best 4 years of your life. Everything's coming to an end. Everything that this senior class did today was the last time they will ever do that here in the Swamp in Gainesville. And because of that, it's among the most emotional experiences you have on campus.
Florida with 2 tight ends from the 5, try to run it. A nice run by Jordan Scarlett. They had trouble, a lot of trouble against Arkansas last week running the football. 2 weeks ago against Georgia, they had a lot of runs like that where they'd get 4, 3 or 4, at least set up a decent second down. And now David Sharp, the left tackle, down for Florida. This is starting to look like a week ago as far as injured bodies. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Gainesville, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking a look at left tackle David Sharp. Here that gets rolled up on right there on his outside right leg. It's hard to see, but we have another look that shows you clearly that ironically the backup center TJ McCoy, who's playing today because of injured Cam Dillard, is the one that gets him. Trent's play is dangerous. It's for tough men. So Sharp's going down, and there you see Marcus May, a stud safety, and the Gators are dropping like flies here early on.
Yeah. Let's check in with John on the sideline.
Well, Marcus May, they were bracing his left arm. He could not move it. It looks like a left shoulder. They took him off on the cart. Also an injury update for South Carolina. Number 6, Chris Moody, have an ice bag over his left knee. Does not look like he will return for this game, guys.
You know, it's weird. As Cam Dillard went down last week because he got rolled up on by David Sharp. Friendly fire, and now the same thing happens in flip form. T.J. McCoy in for both Dillard and Tyler Jordan, rolls up on David Sharp, and we've seen too much offensive line stuff like that the last 2 weeks with injuries for Florida.
Yeah, that's in a position that they can ill afford to take any more losses either.
Scarlett got out around the 14-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd down and short.
Well, the move that the Gators have made is moving the left guard Martez Ivey over to left tackle and bringing up Tavares Harkless. Take a look here at these 2 guys. Tavares Harkless there at that left guard position. They're running a power game so you can be able to come off and double team. Among the favorite blocks for offensive linemen because it allows you to be powerful. That was a great play call that brings up a 3rd and short here. Come off the ball and sustain your leg drive.
Couldn't convert 3rd downs a week ago. They convert here on 3rd down and 1. Pick up a 3. You know, a lot of people at home are going, oh, so what? Offensive linemen, they can switch positions. It ain't that easy.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you.
You know better than anybody.
It's similar, but it's not the same. It's akin to knowing how to write, going from your right hand to your left hand. You can still make the letters, but it's not nearly as smooth. The box looks completely different. It's going to be tough for both Ivey and Harkless, who's been a backup, to get some meaningful reps in a very key SEC East matchup.
Florida's already got about twice as much rushing yardage as they did last week, and Appleby fires a little too far in front of Brandon Powell, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Coming up Monday, want to know the secret to happiness? Watch TV's #1 comedy as Kevin becomes a life coach. An all-new Kevin Can Wait, Monday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS.
Early on, I think this Gator team is kind of following the same recipe that they used against the Tennessee Volunteers pretty effectively early on in that first half. They're running the football, using some 2 tight end sets, the screen game, the red zone. The only thing we've missed is some deep shots, and we should see that here before long.
Michael Pirine, short gain. Darius English stops him after a pickup of a couple. English been a heck of a player on South Carolina's defensive front. Raises a lot of havoc. Comes in leading the team in sacks. 4th in the conference. Good player. 6'6" senior out of Powder Springs, Georgia.
Yeah, he's a lean, athletic defensive end. That's the best pass rusher on his team. You take a look at his arms. He could basically tie his shoes while he's standing up there so long, and that allows him tremendous leverage to be able to get to the chest of the offensive lineman.
Well, here's a 3rd down and long. You saw Antonio Callaway come in to the huddle. They've got 2 receivers to both sides for Austin Appleby. Empty backfield as Pirine flushes out of there. Across the middle, Callaway. 1st down and more. Number 81. They wanted to get him involved. They do. He's had a nice couple of punt returns and now gets it out to the 37-yard line. Picks up 19 yards on 3rd and 8.
Well, we talked about wanting to increase the pitch count of the coaches for Antonio Callaway. Just gets him on a jerk route. Beautifully run. Keontae Lewis, the tight end, number 80, was wide open on that crossing route. We talked about it, Brad. We had an idea or thought that what Florida was going to try to do is run some crossing routes, some drags, because those are high percentage throws right in front of the quarterback.
Well, 1st down at the 38. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the quarter. Pirine got maybe to the 39-yard line. Antonio Callaway, you talk about a guy that can get it done in a lot of different ways. 5'11", 197-pound sophomore. 5 different ways he scored touchdowns. 6 on receptions, a couple of punt returns. He rushed for 1 earlier this year. He is a dangerous dude, and they have to get him the football more. We talked with Doug Nussmeier, their offensive coordinator, about that yesterday and said, hey, Coach, what do you think about 81 and number 4? He said, yeah, we got to get them both more touches than we did a week ago.
I love how you roll in the meetings and basically throw everything right out on the table. Why aren't 81 catching the ball anymore?
It's just easy to be frank for me. They should have made me frank. There's Callaway again. Pick up a 5 out to the 45.
Well, that time South Carolina's playing some off coverage. And the Gators doing a nice job, and Austin Appleby making good reads, getting the football to his playmakers in space. This is straight on script for what it is they wanted to do, bringing up a 3rd and very makeable medium situation here.
Yeah, they picked up a 3rd and 1 and a 3rd and 8 so far in this drive. 9th play of the drive on 3rd down and 4.
And notice how everybody's in tight, nice and cozy. That means the outside of the field on that right side is wide open with a lot of space.
Single setback is Jordan Cronkwright. Josh Hammond, the motion man. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Appleby fires complete across midfield. Still running is Josh Hammond, and the freshman has a first down at the 48-yard line.
Well, this is just going to be a nice little snag route to Hammond, who's going to be right here. He's going to come up, act like he's going to come in, and then come back out, making it difficult for the defender to cover him up. Nice job there that time by Powell running off the other defender, and this is just simple pitch and catch for this Gator offense, looking as good as it's been maybe this season.
Right now, Gator fans are going, where was this last week? In Arkansas. First down, Appleby's been extremely sharp, 8 out of 9. On the bootleg, throws wide open, Deontay Lewis, and he's got another first down. Big target, 6'4", 231 pounds, Deontay Lewis.
This guy's really popped on tape for me. He's just going to come across here and drag right across the field. He's going to turn his shoulders so that Austin Appleby sees his numbers. But there he is, right in front of the safety, behind the linebackers, taking advantage of that zone defense.
And Florida with a little tempo as well here. They're ready and lined up at the 35-yard line.
Trying to keep South Carolina in the same personnel group.
All 3 wides to the near side for Appleby. Has been very, very sharp. He's going to keep it here. Second time he's running off the zone read. Nice run. Got about 9, maybe 10 before he's run out of bounds.
Smelling a little bit of Tim Tebow on that one with Austin Appleby. 6'4", 240 pounds, built more like a linebacker than he is a quarterback. I mean, this is a kid that grew up and dreamt about being a Florida Gator, got hurt right out of high school, didn't work out, but man, he's played so well here in the first quarter.
The first quarter that is coming to an end right now. Good first quarter by number 12 and the Gators. Just 1 turnover, and they lead by 7. End of the first quarter. Florida 7, South Carolina 0. We'll return to Gainesville after this message and a word from your local station. Tuesday on CBS. He's not a lawyer, but he knows how to win the case. Michael Weatherly stars in TV's #1 news show, Bull. New episode Tuesday after NCIS. So Florida in the first quarter had an almost twice as long time of possession, almost twice as many plays. And with the lead, might have been bigger than the 7-0. It is, but they had the fumble down in the red zone. They're approaching the red zone again here at the 26 of South Carolina. And whistles and flags. Tavares Harkless, a left tackle, might have been the guy with a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That'll back it up 5 yards, and we'll send it to New York. Here's Adam.
All right, Brad, Tennessee's Josh Dobbs has been on the move today. 6 rushes for 65 yards already. This one 35 yards to set up his own touchdown run. The Vols are up 14-10. Of course, Gators fans hoping to couple a Tennessee loss with a Florida win so they can clinch the East today. Back to you.
Well, Florida has the tiebreaker over Kentucky, but not Tennessee. So there's a lot of football left to be played. Right now, Florida looks much better than they did a week ago. They're undefeated at the Swamp, trying to go to 5-0 against a hot South Carolina team. Here's Jordan Scarlett, cuts outside. Scarlett got the corner, and it's 1st and goal, Florida.
26-yard pickup for Jordan Scarlett.
Well, that inside power run game is working beautifully. They're going to pull here, but Scarlett's going to break the ball backside. The defense over pursues, and nobody's there. That's great vision. And then to shake the safety in the hole, the cornerback, Jamarcus King, that's just a beautiful run. That element was not there a week ago when we saw these guys in Arkansas.
Yeah. Great looking drive, too. Remember, they started at their own 5-yard line. This is the 13th play of the Florida march. A first and goal at the 5. Appleby dropped the ball. South Carolina's got it. Bryson Allen Williams, the outside linebacker. And for the second time today, the Gamecocks get a stop in the red zone.
The center, T.J. McCoy. Remember, Tyler Jordan went down earlier. Cam Dillard's not there, so you're young right up the middle. New center, new quarterback, huge costly penalty with the exchange deep in the red zone. Those type of plays can get South Carolina right back in this game. That was a critical error.
So they had a fumble recovery in the first quarter at the 24-yard line. They've got one here at the 14-yard line. And remember, South Carolina, the best in the SEC in turnover margin. They came in +9. They're +2 already today. Now it's a matter of whether they can get their offense in gear. Bentley running out of time. Down he goes at the 10. And it's Joey Ivey, one of the defensive captains.
Let's take a look at that fumble one more time. Here you go right here. Center quarterback exchange. They do it before practice. They do it after practice. That ball hit Appleby right in the hands. There's always a long-standing argument about whose fault it was. Did the quarterback pull out too early? Was the short snap, or with the snap short? But that time, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't matter because right now this defense needs to stop.
Here's Dallas. Got a little opening on the right side. One of his better runs of the day as he got it out to the 19-yard line to make third down a little bit better. It'll be third down and 5.
I mean, Brad, being up here watching this game, it's pretty clear Florida has been dominant. They have controlled the game, yet it's still 7-0, and you got one of the hottest, best improving offenses here with a hot shot quarterback that has a third and medium after the turnover. This is a big conversion for him.
Ruby looks for his tight end. Fires outside. It's Hurst. He's got a first down at the 25. So there's his leading receiver. That's his 36th catch of the year. 36 catches without a touchdown. I don't know if there's anybody in the conference that's got that many grabs but hasn't been in the end zone yet.
They got to feed him, man. Get him down in the red zone. Get him some touches. He's a converted wide receiver. Went to the tight end. Played a little baseball at Florida State. But last week had 3 catches for 20 yards. And that was a big pickup on third down to extend this drive.
Hayden Hurst, one of the captains. As Aaron said, drafted by Pittsburgh as a baseball player, now playing football. His quarterback scrambling around. Actually got about a yard out of that. Bentley falls forward. Devontae Davis and Joey Ivey were the guys putting on the pressure. So South Carolina has not had great field position. And they've all ended in punts. But boy, their defense coming up with the 2 stops in the red zone certainly helped the cause. This thing could be 21-0.
Yeah, Bentley's got to get rid of that football a little bit sooner. He's got to have that clock in his head that tells him it's time to tuck it and go.
Draw play, Dowdle. And Dowdle's out to the 37-yard line. I beg your pardon, 32-yard line.
That was a power scheme, meaning taking advantage of double team blocks at the point of attack. They pulled backside guard Zach Bailey to try and get 3 big blockers in the hole. But again, we see Rico Dowdle's ability to jump cut to the outside there for the nice game.
Last time they had a third down, they threw to Hurst. The tight end, he's in a slot on the left side on a third down and 3.
Here they come.
Blitz on the way from the Gators. Passes high, incomplete, intended for Ryan Edwards. Edwards a big target, but not big enough on that one.
Well, this is just a fire zone situation. You're going to see Cox back up backside here, gets into the throwing lane. Bentley has to try and squeeze it in. But you see there, Cox right there, he backs up, almost gets a hand on it. His body presence and the quick pressure by the Florida D-line mean that their defense gets another stop, the 4th punt in a row for the Gamecocks.
Sean Kelly the kick again.
high hanging spiral. Callaway's going to have to call fair catch on this one, and does right around the 24-yard line. With 11:31 remaining first half, it's the Gators by touchdown. Terrible 2 weeks for Florida injury-wise. Cam Dillard, their center rather, got rolled up on by David Sharp a week ago. C.C. Jefferson goes down. He's not playing today. Jared Davis, their leader at middle linebacker, came up lame. Alex Anzalone broke his arm trying to make that tackle. It just keeps going on today as the backup center Tyler Jordan hurt. That's Marcus May trying to make a tackle, and he went out with a shoulder injury. And then David Sharp, the left tackle, rolled up on it. Look at that scene. May going to the locker room, and Sharp coming to the sideline. That's how bad it's been for Florida over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, for the coaches, they not only lose production, but they lose leadership, which is really the glue that keeps teams together. And for the players, man, as bad and as painful as the injuries are, nothing hurts more than the emotional pain of not being out here on the field with your buddies.
At the 24-yard line with a first down. And they got something going here. It's going back the corner across the 40. Out to midfield and inside. Jordan Scarlett having a big day. A pickup of 32 that time.
Well, T.J. McCoy fumbled on the previous play, but he gets a nice block here. Keep your eye on the center. He does a good job of getting a nice reach and seal block right there. Keeps good leg drive and missed tackles. Once again, hurting this Gamecock defense, but Scarlett bouncing to the outside, finding green grass to run.
This time he's bottled up after a pickup of a couple, but he's around 78 yards on the day. And remember, they couldn't muster anything in Fayetteville a week ago on the ground. And number 25, the sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, having a good game today.
Yeah, and that time the safety for South Carolina, Stephen Montauk, came up and made a nice tackle at the line of scrimmage. I think the Gamecocks are going to have to get their safeties involved to stop this run game, which sets them up perfectly if they're not careful for some double move vertical shots.
Remember, they had good field position for their opening touchdown, a 56-yard drive, and then you saw what's happened the last 2 times. They get it down in the red zone and turn it over. Appleby. Big strike to Brandon Powell. And Powell's down inside the 20. 24-yard pass play.
Man, that is a perfect example of the arm strength, release, and delivery of Appleby. That ball is on the money. A little bit behind Powell. He's got to spin out, but because it got there so quickly, he's able to run after the catch. Exactly what McElwain and Nussmeier wanted for this offense.
Take a look at the Verizon red zone today. A couple of trips, a touchdown, but turnovers ended other scoring threats. Right now they're at the 19-yard line. Moncright in the backfield for Florida. Appleby's been sharp. He's going to go to the corner to the end zone. A mouthful, a touchdown. On a pretty-looking pass.
It was pretty, baby. That's a smash route concept where he runs the corner over his inside shoulder, beautifully thrown.
Right foot down, left foot out. Had control. They'll take another look at it, but you get a different angle there.
It's interesting. He steps out with that left foot. The ball hits his hand right as his right hand was down, but they're going to let that stand. What a beautiful play by the Gators. Austin Appleby coming up huge.
So the Gators strike again. This time they get in the red zone and don't turn it over. Appleby's second scoring toss of the day. Florida 14-0 over the Gamecocks.
Show me what you do.
Lets it go.
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! Oh no! Ricardo Lewis!
The prayer, Jordan Hare, Auburn with a 43-38 win, and that one Georgia fans still trying to get over it. They'd love to get some payback between the hedges. Coming up next, Ern, Gary, and Allie will have it for you. 9th-ranked Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs. Coming up next on CBS in our SEC doubleheader. Fullwood, an 18-yard scoring toss from Appleby, caps a 76-yard march in 4 plays. Took him just under 2 minutes to take a 2-touchdown lead here with 9:37 remaining in the half. Pinheiro to kick. Deebo Samuel waits back in the South Carolina end zone. Not going to have a shot at this one. Goes all the way to the photographers behind the end zone. Let's take you back to the touchdown.
Well, this is just going to be a snag route concept, but look at the way that Fullwood climbs on top of the toes of the cornerback and gets himself vertical and away from the safety. Jamarcus King gets turned around. He eats up his cushion, and Fullwood, after a beautiful throw, catches the ball over his inside shoulder, gets his foot down for a huge touchdown. And Austin Appleby dreamt about this as a kid. He always dreamed about playing for the Gators, and he is feeling it right now.
That's Jamon Fullwood's first touchdown catch of the year, too, so he's feeling a little bit on the sideline. First down at the 25. Looked like motion or an offside. We'll wait and see. Right tackle, left tackle, a left defensive end spot. Here's the call.
Davis.
Offside. Defense, number 95. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So that'll make it first down and 5. Monday, Matt LeBlanc is the man with a plan in the hilarious new comedy right after the new Kevin Can Wait. Monday, only CBS. Brad Nessler, Taylor, Scott Griffin, and our CBS crew at the Swamp in Gainesville, where the Gators have not lost this year, and they're up 14-0 here. Corner blitz might be coming. And Jake Bentley just takes his time and looks to the sideline.
And they switched their back.
They sure did.
David Williams comes over to pick up this cowboy off the boundary. Looks like Florida made a kill call and got away from it.
Play action. Samuel, the intended receiver, on the slant. And again, too much zip on it, or a little too far in front of Deebo Samuel.
Man, I thought that play had a chance. It was play action off of a divide play, but the ball just too far out in front. You have to think that Jake Bentley may be respecting that tight coverage that time by Quincy Wilson. These windows are going to be much smaller today than he's used to throwing in. He's got to give his receivers a chance there, because that was a nice route by Samuel.
Yep, he's either been a little bit too high or a little bit too far in front of most of his receivers today. Here's a draw play that goes for a first down, though. Out to the 39 is David Williams.
Great eyes that time to cut it back up inside. As we take a look at these two quarterbacks, Bentley only 3 for 9, 33% completion percentage, but man, Austin Appleby, I don't know if you can get any better than that.
And again, if you missed it earlier, those guys are separated by 4.5 years in age. With Appleby, a grad transfer from Purdue, and Bentley, not yet 19 years old. Across the middle, Jake throws, picked up a 3 as he got it out to David Williams. Jake turns 19 on November 23rd. Austin Appleby will be 24 at the beginning of June. So we got experience and youth in a big-time way to the quarterback spot today.
About opposite ends of the spectrum, kind of like me and you up here.
Me being the young guy, you mean? Or the shorter of the two of us? Which were you talking about?
If the shoe fits, Brad.
There you go. Second down at 6. And it's Williams on the counter. Ooh, not much. We got stoned by Reese and Johnson. Those two freshman linebackers who have had to fill the spots of two of the best in the SEC, and they've done a nice job of it today.
I'm a little surprised we're not seeing any more deep shots with some 50-50 balls, taking some vertical shots. That was one of the things that really stood out to me on the film, was Samuel being able to go up, but that was Kylan Johnson filling in for Alex Anzalone, doing a really nice job so far. Both those linebackers have there.
4 receivers set, both Samuel and the tight end Hayden Hurst to Bentley's left on third down at 6.
Might be some pressure here off the close edge from the boundary.
Bentley's going to go deep. There's a 50-50 ball, just like you called it, and Brian Edwards pulls it down.
Bryan Edwards is a big body wide receiver who seems to take pride to play wide receiver like a tight end. I mean, that time he's lined up over Teez Tabor, one of the better cornerbacks in the country, just perfectly high points the football up over Teez Tabor, who's 6 foot tall. And the 6'3" Bryan Edwards comes down with a huge third down conversion.
And a first down, 36-yard line. Bentley comes up to have a word with his offensive line. Williams trying to go wide. Florida has got that all pegged, and Teez Tabor in on the tackle. Very little gain, if at all. Tomorrow, NFL on CBS hits regional games. One matchup, the Broncos take on the Saints, or the Dolphins challenge the Chargers. Check your local listings, beginning with JB, Bart, Tony, Coach, and Boomer on the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines at noon Eastern. South Carolina trying to get a drive together here. They've worked it to the Florida 36-yard line, trailing by a couple of touchdowns as we approach the 6-minute mark. Rico Dowdle back in the South Carolina backfield with Bentley.
High percentage short throw or another run.
Bentley, he's going to run. Jake Bentley does a slide at the 25, and he's got a first down. Pickup of 11.
This Florida defensive line is being really active. You see Joey Ivy goes inside because he vacates his rush lane. That allows Jake Bentley to use his legs and pick up some valuable yardage in a first down.
Jake's maybe got to work on that slide a little bit, but he did get a first down at the 25.
Clearly he didn't get drafted in baseball.
He's a gym rat, though. His dad's an assistant coach for South Carolina. Both of his brothers played quarterback in college. And here he is as the #1 signal caller for the Gamecocks. Boy, trying to give some ground to gain some. That's not going to work for Rico Dowdle. Florida's all over it. David Reese made the first contact. Then Jordan Sheridan and company came up to help the cause.
Oh, there's some good stuff going on here. To play good defense, you got to be able to set the edge, and that happens. But keep your eye right here on Caleb Brantley doing a little spin move. But when you set the edge and force the back to gain depth, it allows the pursuit to come. That defense is playing downhill, and that's a beautiful tackle for loss for the Gators.
That's something South Carolina didn't need, is a loss to set it back to 2nd down and 15. The 9th play of their drive as we're under 5 minutes in the half. High snap, Bentley pulled it down, got it to Dowdle, but no gain again. And it's going to be down at 15. You can say what you want about David Reese having to fill in for Jared Davis, who's an all-SEC performer. The kid had 6 tackles last week when Davis was banged up, and he's been around the football all day today.
He's doing a nice job, man. And the coaches told us that Jared Davis, when we were talking to Jeff Collins a couple weeks ago, we asked him who he reminded him of. He said 2 players that I played at different stops, Dak Prescott and Calvin Johnson. Pretty high accolades, but this is a big third down here for Florida. I would expect some pressure here.
They've got a good field goal kicker. They'd like to get some kind of points, but obviously they prefer a touchdown. Oh, boy. Forget about the field goal or the touchdown. A fumble, and it's recovered by Taven Bryan. The Gators have it back, and there goes the scoring opportunity for South Carolina. They had something working. Looked like they were going to get points. But Taven Bryan says, forced the fumble, recovered by Florida. Now it's time for the Aflac trivia question. This one's so much better than a week ago. Who are the only 2 coaches to be the winningest coaches at 2 different SEC schools? Give you a hint. One of them's in the building today. Isn't that a lot better than last week?
Yeah, quite a bit, quite a bit. Ursula Major.
Taven Bryan with that forced fumble, and the turnovers have been key. South Carolina preventing some scores. First as that ball popped out, South Carolina got the recovery, prevented a touchdown, and then Bryson Allen-Williams, the outside linebacker, picks up that loose ball, and then Bentley on the forced fumble by Taven Bryan, and he heads over to the defensive board and says, my name's going up there. Jeff Collins says that becomes a really big thing for the guys when they have a turnover, because their name goes up in the locker room, and he's going to sign his name just to make sure nobody messes with it.
We're simple creatures, man. We play for candy bars, wrestling belts. It doesn't matter. Anything to motivate us.
Florida works from the 37 now. They've got all their timeouts. Just under 4 minutes to go. This time Appleby on the carry. He's going to lose a yard. Let's head down on the sideline of John.
Well, you guys mentioned that signing that turnover board. Florida has a thing on defense where they call it, it's all about the ball. Whenever a guy gets a turnover, they give them a bracelet with that slogan on it. It's a huge ceremony after the game, and they all look forward to it. It's like you said, Aaron. It's a carrot that this defense uses to get these guys motivated. If they rip it away, if they get an interception, anything, they want their name on that board.
With that, they prevented a South Carolina score a couple of plays ago. Their offense for the second down and 11. Antonio Callaway in motion. Pitch was behind. He corralled it and got it out across the 40. Pick up of 7.
Juan Taylor, the right tackle, with a beautiful block on that on the pitch to the outside, getting to the edge. The perimeter running, doing a nice job. Here he is in space, a pin and pull scheme, guys blocking in towards the ball. Just basically raw dogs their quarterback right there.
That was a great catch by LaMichael Pirine, who has 6 receptions this year. That might be his best one. And that was on a running play. Jordan Cronkright comes in to take his spot right now in the backfield for Florida on a 3rd down and 4.
Taylor, 65,
Deontay Lewis was the motion man. He's also the receiving man. He dropped the ball. That might be incomplete. It is. Got stripped out of there by Stephen Montague. Good job defensively by the Gamecocks safety.
Yeah, Montague's a versatile safety with good coverage skills in both man and zone coverage. But you see, swipes there with his right hand. Right as Lewis was getting the ball and prevents the completion. Nice pass break, though.
First punt of the day for Florida. Johnny Townsend, the leading punter in the SEC, set to kick, and that's Chris Lamons back deep. Townsend averaging 47 a kick.
Great job by the Gamecocks defense to buckle down after the costly turnover and bail their offense out.
Better backpedal and better look out. Wow, flagged out, could be a targeting. Or Chris Thompson, who got whacked a week ago on a kick return, and we were wondering whether or not he'd been play today. And he just took another one of those shots like he did to start the 3rd quarter at Arkansas. And now the all-important call from Brad Rogers after the officials have a committee meeting at the 10-yard line.
Personal foul, targeting, 85 of the kicking team. Play is under review.
Obviously, the play under review. It was a bang-bang play, as you'll see it one more time here.
Hard to see from that angle. Now, remember, targeting is forcible contact to the head or neck area, or using the crown of the helmet against a defensive player.
That's what it looks like to me, Aaron.
Which certainly Lamons was there, and both of those criteria, it's both. It's a twofer. And that's going to be the last we're going to see 85 today.
That's what we anticipate as Gerald Hodges is our official in the booth. Steve Shaw, the guys back in Birmingham at the SEC offices. Definition of the targeting. And Aaron just said forcible contact with the crown or a defenseless opponent, and that might be both of them right there. At least that's our opinion. We'll let the other guys figure it out for us. Here is the call. Didn't take long.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed of targeting. Number 85 is disqualified. The 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the kick. It's 1st down.
Well, this is the 2nd week in a row that Thompson's headed to the locker room. Once because he took a shot like that, and this week is because he delivered that shot.
Well, I'm all for the targeting rule because I'm a player's advocate, and anything that makes the game safer, I'm all about. But it sometimes puts these guys in weird predicaments because they're just playing the game. They want to make a play, but they've got to be able to coach that aspect of football out of it to make sure it's safe for everybody.
So Chris will not be able to return until next week at LSU. Meanwhile, South Carolina trying to muster something here in the last couple minutes of the half. And they've got something working with David Williams. Out of the backfield, and Williams out to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 16. South Carolina with all its timeouts remaining.
That screen game takes advantage of aggressive pass rushers. The defensive linemen, man, they pin their ears back. They start licking their chops. They want to get after the quarterback. That was a nice job by Bentley that time, sucking up the rush and getting the football out to the perimeter.
First down at the 40. Bentley moves to his left. A long throw to the sideline. Incomplete. Second down and hit. We talked about last week. This was the opening kickoff in Fayetteville last week. Chris Thompson on the receiving end of one of those. That was not a targeting foul, but he fumbled. And he took a heck of a shot. And now this week, I don't think he was looking for payback, but that's what happened. And so he heads to the locker room for a different reason this week. Last week, because of taking a hit. This week, delivering one. Bentley, swing pass. Looking for blockers out there in the corner. And it's only going to be about a yard gain.
Yeah, those high percentage passes are probably what they want to do. The play before this, Bentley threw it out to the flat from the far hash. I just don't think this young man has enough arm strength to be able to make an NFL-level throw, particularly against these good cornerbacks.
So now they got third down and long. Almost 9 to go with a minute and a half to play in the half.
Deebo Samuel and Quincy Wilson at the bottom of the screen. Here they are right there. Those 50-50 balls are effective.
Bentley still looking at the sideline.
They may have to take a timeout here.
And they will. With 1:11 remaining in the half. South Carolina trying to muster a drive and get any kind of points before the break.
Adam Zucker in New York. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Rick, BJ, and I get you caught up on today's action, including Tennessee. Got to keep pace with the Gators. Josh Dobbs, 1 touchdown on the ground, 2 in the air. They lead Kentucky 21-13 late in the second quarter. And Alabama rolling on Mississippi State now 27-0. Jalen Hurts has been on point as we take you back to Gainesville.
All right, Adam, see you guys in a minute and 11 seconds. Take a look at the standings. Florida, again, they have the tiebreaker over Kentucky, but not Tennessee. Alabama's got the tiebreaker over everybody so far, and they are in command. Auburn plays Georgia between the hedges in the second game of our doubleheader here on CBS today. And if Auburn keeps rolling, how big will the Iron Bowl be again this year? Third down, critical here. Third down, a long 8, almost 9. South Carolina trying to keep things going. Remember, Florida's got all its timeouts remaining as well. They get the ball back. They've got a hot quarterback and a minute to play with before halftime. Bentley across the middle and dropped. It would have been a first down. Brian Edwards should have had it.
2 critical drops on third down plays. The first one was the tight end Hayden Hurst. This one to Brian Edwards. You're Jake Bentley. You can't put that ball, make a better read, deliver it on target with an ability to run after the football.
Right through his hands and right into his face mask.
Now remember, Florida's got 3 timeouts left with a quarterback with a big arm and a couple good wide receivers. They also get the ball back to start the second half. That was a huge drop for the Gamecocks.
Depending on if Antonio Callaway can get anything on this punt return. This one hit a mile in the air. He's going to camp under it and take off, though, from the 19. Antonio Callaway kept his balance out to about the 28-yard line. So they've got 56 seconds to work with. Well, a little while ago, we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Who are the only 2 coaches to be the winningest coaches at 2 SEC schools? I gave you a hint that one of them was in the building. Well, that's the head ball coach, of course, at Florida and at South Carolina. Steve Spurrier, the winningest coach. And Bear Bryant at Kentucky and Alabama. And one of 3 Heisman winners here with the statues outside, along with Danny Werfel and Tim Tebow. And we saw Steve in his office. He comes in early every morning.
And
Florida
he's in
has
his
declined the
office.
foul.
Yesterday, he was working on the reunion of the 90 and 91 teams that he coached. His 90 team was his first one. They would have won the SEC title, but they were under sanctions from the team. They did win in 91. All those guys were here and partied last night, had a big time. And then between the first and second quarter, they were also introduced to the crowd here today. And a late flag on an illegal formation, so they're going to have to kick it again. Did not see that flag. Kelly will have to come out and do it one more time.
I had the opportunity on Wednesday to spend 45 minutes with Steve Spurrier, just he and I watching practice, man.
It's interesting having practice with him, isn't it?
Oh, the way he sees the game and his opinions and the philosophy of quarterback play and what's important. I learned a lot about the game of football just spending 45 minutes with him.
They're trying to figure out the right spot here on where the line of scrimmage is. Brad Rogers, referee.
Florida has chosen to take the illegal formation foul at the previous spot. It's a 5-yard penalty at the previous spot. It's 4th down.
Well, they will take the penalty and force the punt. What you don't want to do on the second attempt is drop the punt on the other end if you're Antonio Callaway, because he had decent field position. But they're hoping, like he did in the first quarter, that they can get more on the punt return.
A lot of ways this young man has scored this year.
Takes it at the 24. Well, I like the choice right now. Antonio Callaway across midfield. He might take it. Callaway, great choice. Flag down, but a touchdown. Let's see if it's coming back. It's a 76-yard return for a score unless the penalty will negate it.
During the return, holding number 45 of the return team. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's 1st down, Florida.
Oh, boy.
Let's go back and take a look at that previous formation prior to this last one that forced Carolina to re-kick. You have to have no more than 4 people in the backfield. They're considering him there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is why South Carolina had to re-kick. And then Callaway, who's been chomping at the bit so close, struggling with muffed punts so far this year in a couple different games, finally, after his patient, gets it done. And it was the penalty in the hold that brings it back right there. The tackle suplex takedown, and the Gators are coming back. That is a heartbreaker right there as the Gators realize that one's coming back.
Nonetheless, they still got good field position with 39 seconds to go. Appleby comes up throwing down the middle, tips, and intercepted. Picked off by the Gamecocks, and they stop another drive. How many things can go wrong in the last 3 plays? Well, if you're a South Carolina fan, you consider that things going right.
Well, South Carolina, that's what they do defensively, is find ways to turn the ball over. 2 critical turnovers. But remember, if there wasn't a holding penalty on this previous play, it would have been a touchdown. But instead, they take points off the boards twice in the same drive. That's hard to do.
TJ Holloman off that ricochet. And it gives it back to South Carolina. But I don't think they're going to do anything fancy here with 30 seconds remaining.
Tell you what, you can say what you want to about this Gamecock defense. They have bailed this team out more than once here today. Those are huge turnovers on the road. With a shot here now to get some points before they go in and get Florida back to start the second half.
Well, they are going to try to do something. Bentley, that's what happens. The ball is out, but it's covered by his own guys. I think Zach Bailey or Allen Knott covered it, not with a fumble recovery. And now I would think that Will is just going to let the clock wind down, head to the locker room, try to regroup down 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely. A sack is the worst thing that can happen in a 2-minute situation, because not only do you lose yardage, it creates a pile and eats up very valuable time. I think they're going to let this one run down because of that play and go regroup, try to figure this thing out in the second half.
Now coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Adam, Rick, and BJ will have scores and highlights, especially Kentucky and Tennessee. Preview Game 2 of our doubleheader between Auburn and Georgia. All coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. Florida at home, leading South Carolina 14-0. And now it's time for Inside Access, presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the SEC. And here's John with Coach Mack.
Well, Brad, thank you so much, Coach. 2 fumbles by your offense early and then that late interception. How do you clean things up in the second half?
Yeah, you know, I mean, our guys are playing hard and they're playing fast. And yet, you know, those are the things that come back and haunt you. We just got to make sure we hang on to it, all right, do the right thing. But I tell you what, our guys are playing their tails off, and that's all right.
You had 5 guys injured from last week, not able to play today. 3 injuries this week, and then Chris Thompson.
You know what? We got a bunch of guys that are out here playing hard, and that's what it's all about.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
So again, it could have been a lot better for Florida. What a holding call on Antonio Callaway's 76-yard punt return. It's negated. There you see. Oops. That's the guilty party. And they had to try to put more points up before halftime. Holloman with the interception negates any more scoring. 14-0 as we head to New York. Here's Adam.
All right, thanks, Brad. Coming up here on the Geico Halftime Report, Rick, BJ, and I will update everybody on all the early SEC action and how it affects the race in the East after this word from your local station.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Halftime Report. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geico Halftime Report. I'm Adam Zucker alongside Rick Neuheisel and Brian Jones. The score in Gainesville, Florida on top, 14-0 on South Carolina. Austin Appleby feeling good in the neighborhood, BJ, but it feels like it should be 35-0.
It does feel that way, and this Gator offense has a little bit more bite into it this week than they did there in Fayetteville last week versus Arkansas. Austin Appleby, 3rd start of the season, lost versus Tennessee, won versus Vandy, and trying to engineer a win. This offense appears as though it has a more sense of urgency, and Appleby is utilizing his arm as well as his legs thus far. Here he goes deep, nice. Corner around the end zone. He's right on target. They've already amassed more yards in the first half, has this offense, than they did in the total 4 quarters there versus Arkansas last week.
Still a head-scratcher why he didn't play last week against Arkansas. And for South Carolina, we knew it was going to be harder, right? They're on a 3-game winning streak. Will Muschamp doing a great job. It was going to be harder because of this Gator defense. But you got to make these plays. If you're going to try to contend and get to a bowl game, you've got to make these plays. Here's a 2nd down and long. Everybody in the building knows it's going to be a screen. You got to tackle that guy. South Carolina is in this game for whatever reason. Right. They've got to find a way to play much better in the second half.
Yeah, a team that has defeated the Vols along this winning streak of theirs. And as we get you caught up on other action with our highlight blitz now, Tennessee hosting Kentucky. The Vols needing a win to keep pace with Florida here, BJ.
Yes, they are. Tennessee was able to end that 3-game skid, and Kentucky had a 3-game winning streak. Josh Smith wide open end zone. Dobbs finds him, and here he goes again. Dobbs to tight end Ethan Wolf.
Wolf. He's barking. Vols up by 8, final seconds of the first half. Gator fans, they want to win the East today. Beat South Carolina, have Kentucky knock off Tennessee. The Vols have a tiebreaker on everyone in the division except South Carolina, who needs a lot of help. Kentucky needing the win in 2 Gators losses today, the loss today, and then again against LSU next week. In the SEC West, Alabama, Rick, there is just no let up for these guys.
The #1 team in the land, Adam, continues to impress. Here's a little jet sweep to our Darius Stewart. He is doing the honors. Get to the tape. There you go, right there. Beautiful job. And how about Jalen Hurts? This guy's unbelievable. Nobody open. I'll do it myself. Old #2 right now, 20 for 28, 245 in the first half. He's run for 89 yards. #2 looks pretty good. Quarterback in #1.
Put the backups in.
Number 22 in a row could be on the way. And Alabama on top of the SEC West. Of course, LSU, the big one last week, and they get that win. Auburn has control of its own destiny, playing Georgia today here on CBS. LSU and Arkansas doing battle. A&M and Ole Miss doing battle today as well. Meantime, in the Big Ten, now Penn State's had a tremendous year. Number 10 could be bound for a 10-win season, BJ.
Yeah, Penn State had combined 100 points the last 2 ball games, only 14 today. And Devon Redding, 12-yard run there. Penn State, 4 turnovers. They forced today, but only 7 points off of those turnovers.
Yeah, some divine intervention. And when you look at the Big Ten East, everyone thinks Ohio State, Michigan, and that's it. But Penn State, with that win over Ohio State, they are alive. They did lose to Michigan. They need the Wolverines to lose twice because of that overall record, that loss early this year to Pittsburgh. Hail Mary intercepted. Now, the Big 12, Oklahoma knocking on the top 10, perfect in conference play. It's getting feisty in the Big 12, Rick.
Yes, it is, but Baker, the touchdown maker, has a recipe for that. Here he finds D.D. Westbrook. Westbrook does a little tightrope dance on the sideline, 29-yard touchdown, and they take a 21-10 lead here at halftime.
Hey, let's just save that energy.
Yeah, and the Sooners with that 11-point lead. Baker Mayfield doing it. Big one at West Virginia next week, and it could be bigger if the Mountaineers are able to hold on to this one. 17-13 on top of BJ's Longhorns right now. We will preview Game 2 of our doubleheader between number 9 Auburn and Georgia when the Geico Halftime Report continues. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, Napa Auto Parts, Geico, and by Sonic. Welcome back to the Geico Halftime Report. A reminder, it's college basketball action on CBS Sports Network. Monday at 7 Eastern. Number 7, Xavier, hosting Buffalo. It's getting cold out. All right, coming up next on CBS, it's Game 2 of our Home Depot SEC on CBS doubleheader. Number 9, Auburn and Georgia. The Tigers going for a 7th straight win and try to remain within striking distance of Alabama in the West when the Iron Bowl comes around. How about these Tigers?
It's amazing how the narrative has changed on the Plains at Auburn. Offensively, we believe Gus Malzahn, to be effective, had to have a dual-threat quarterback. He gives the reins to Rhett Lashley, unable to find a offense that could generate more offense of itself. He says, Sean White's our guy. This guy has played terrifically. Came off the bench at halftime last week, 10 for 13, 106. They're finding ways to run the ball, averaging, Brian, 300 yards a game. Last time they did that, they played for the national championship.
Hey.
Well, after that big rivalry game, Florida and Georgia, we said Georgia needed to find ways to get the ball to Isaiah McKenzie. He is an explosive player along with those running backs, Chubb and Michelle. And last week they did target him after this inauspicious beginning, fumbling on the punt return there. But 2 targets, 1 touchdown for the young man in that comeback win versus Kentucky on the road. They also, another receiver emerged, Javon Wims, the junior college player, 6'4", big target, 5 receptions, 90 yards. So both of those guys have to get involved in this offense.
Yeah, just don't give it to McKenzie on 4th and 1 against Vandy. Give it to a guy like Cam Petway, the battering ram from Auburn. He is dressed. He's making the trip. We'll find out if he plays in the East South's oldest rivalry. Yeah, maybe save him for the Iron Bowl. A reminder, the NFL on CBS kicks off tomorrow with regional action. Many will see the Broncos and Saints. It all gets started at noon Eastern with the NFL today. What does South Carolina do to get on the board? They're getting turnovers.
They've got to get the ball out of the young man's hand, Bentley's hands early. If they get that done, they can get back in this game.
Yeah, because that pass rush of Florida, even though the numbers are down on the defense side of the ball, they are applying pressure.
3 sacks.
3. All right, thank you for watching the Geico Halftime Report. Coming up, the second half of South Carolina and Florida.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Halftime Report. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Halftime here in Gainesville. The Gators leading the Gamecocks 14-0. And it's time for our Taste of Tradition presented by Sonic. Here's our own John Schrippen. Schripp.
Thanks, Brad. Well, on the heels of Veterans Day, Florida's initiative for this game, honoring the military. Before the game, we had a great fly over the stadium with pilots from South Carolina and Florida grads. 12 players for Florida were selected to wear helmets with the initials of fallen heroes for this game. And then just moments ago, 12-year Navy veteran Gary Ginch, who was deployed in Iraq, proposed to the future Joanna Ginch. And what a moment it was. She said yes. It was spectacular. And let's not forget our very own producer, Matt Sanders. Matt, a 23-year veteran of the Air Force. We love having you on board here at CBS, and thank you so much for everything you do and your service.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be back with the second half after this.
remember, here.
He's going to roll and throw and got a man in the flat. It's Lewis. Touchdown. Appleby's been sharp. He's going to go to the corner to the end zone. Caught. Ahmad Fullwood. Touchdown. And that's where we stand. The Home Depot SEC on CBS as we're just about set to enter the third quarter. Those two scoring tosses by Austin Appleby. As we take a look at the first half trends, Jake Bentley has found out that the Swamp is not Williams-Brice Stadium. Lost a fumble, was only 7 out of 15. Appleby very sharp, 147 yards, couple touchdowns, and 41 yards rushing, including a 33-yarder that got him down close for that touchdown. And Florida had 3 turnovers, or it could have been a much bigger league. We welcome you back to the Swamp. Brad Nessler, Aaron Taylor. You know, I'll give South Carolina credit. If they don't come up with those 3 stops, this thing might be 40-0 right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Their defense kind of bailed them out there, but they're really struggling to try and manufacture anything on offense. We thought it was going to be the strength on strength today. Florida's defense against an improved South Carolina offense, they got to get Rico Dowdle going in this second half, or it's going to be a long afternoon here.
Well, those turnovers came at the 7, the 20, and the 47-yard line. The 47-yard line was the interception on the tip pass just before halftime. So Will Muschamp is hoping that he can get something going offensively. His defense is kind of hung in there. Jim McElwain is just hoping 5-0 at the end of this day and stay in the SEC race to try to get to Atlanta. Gators are going to get the football first to start the third quarter, too. Brandon Powell stands back at his own goal line, awaiting the kick of Elliott Fry. And the third quarter, and the Swamps underway. Powell, 2 yards deep. Brandon Powell ran into his own man. A flag flies in as well as he got out to the 20-yard line. And we're probably going to have an illegal block, and it's going to back up Florida around their own 10.
During the return, blocking the back, number 23. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And that is about where they're going to start as we check in with John down on the sideline.
Well, thank you so much. Caught up with South Carolina head coach, and he told me, look, we are a very young team, so his message was very positive at the half. He said, look, we're in the right positions defensively. We just have to tackle and really wrap guys up. Now, on the offense, in order to help out his quarterback, he really wants to try and establish this run game here in the second half. Brad?
All right. Thanks, John. And with that penalty, it's actually backed up to the 8-yard line. So bad starting field position for Florida to open the third quarter. And I can tell you, knowing Will Muschamp, if he could force a 3 and out on this opening Florida series, he would be elated. They do a nice job to wrap up after a 1-yard gain by Jordan Scarlett.
Florida struggling all year long with penalties, among the worst in the country. Certainly dead last in the SEC conference. You don't want to start those drives out like that, but it's just Chancey Gardner with a block in the back, puts him behind the chains. Good stop there on first down for South Carolina to try and get themselves up the field, as you mentioned, Brad.
Scarlett behind Appleby in a pistol set here. Near side, out around the 12. They bring up third down and 5. So this is the key moment right here for the Gamecock defense.
Well, we talked about Darius English earlier, the defensive end. Those long arms does a really nice job here extending against the tight end, Keontae Lewis. Just good job pressing him, sets the edge, keeps his outside arm and leg free so that defense can come. He's not the biggest guy, so Lewis did a nice job driving him off the football. But that's what you talk about when you want good run fits. And here brings the third down. I think South Carolina has to not only manufacture the run game, but on defense they have to manufacture some pressure here.
A bunch set of receivers to Appleby's right on third down and 6. Powell in motion. And whistles. And a marker down in the secondary.
Delay a game. Offense.
Wow.
5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Call comes back there from the back judge. He's looking up at that scoreboard clock and the play clock. And so now they put themselves in a worse position. Third down at almost 11.
That limits your play calling here. Now the routes are going to take a little bit longer. Your options on your call sheet diminish significantly from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10. But now there's another timeout on the field.
This is an ugly 2 minutes.
Sideline warning. Sideline warning, Florida. It's their first of the game.
So while you were looking at Will Muschamp, it was actually the other sideline where the warning comes from. That's Doug Nussmeier with offensive coordinator, the headset on. Jim McElwain with his headset down around his neck. And he's saying, could we please stay behind the chalk line?
He's yelling at the give-back coach.
Supposed to be having somebody hold on to your belt.
That's it.
Yeah.
Every team's got a give-back coach.
They're down at 11. Draw play. Trying to play it a little bit safe. P-Ryan picked up 5, but they're going to have to kick. So that's exactly what the doctor ordered for South Carolina. South Carolina saying the ball came out at the end of the play. Walton, guy that helped down on the hit, but it'll be a punting situation for Johnny Townsend, and he's going to be in his own end zone when he takes his snap.
Yeah, Walton's a playmaker. Doesn't look to be a fumble. The ball comes down.
Holding on the field as if he was down by contact.
P-Ryan is down. But Jonathan Walton, to your point, had 6 tackles and a half sack a week ago. He's kind of the one player on defense that kind of pops and has some athletic ability and some length to him.
Now we got whistle stop and play again.
All of this right now is boding very well for South Carolina. Florida getting this ball back in the second half after really being dominant in the first half, just coming out lethargic here to start the third quarter.
Play under review as P-Ryan, I think his elbow hits the turf before
Holding
the
on
ball
the field is that
comes
the
out.
runner was down. The previous play is under review.
His left knee hits the ground. It's down before he even hits the ground. And the ball doesn't come out till he's down, but he's down right there. The ball's right up here. I mean, that's as down as you can get.
Yeah, knees down, elbows down. That's down. It's 4th down. We can almost guarantee that anyway.
But I tell you what, man, when coaches look at this, they don't like running backs under any circumstance.
Right.
To put the ball in
After
harm's
review,
way.
the rolling on
That's
the
still
field
a
is
fumble.
confirmed. The runner was down. It'll be 4th down.
So again, Johnny Townsend to punt. And it'll be Chris Lamons who's going to camp out back around midfield. And unless Townsend really blasts one, or Lamons has a difficult time with this kick, South Carolina should have about the best starting field position they've had all day.
Remember, Lamons is a tough guy. Missed a couple of the last couple games with targeting penalties, getting ejected. But wow, what a punt!
All the way back to the 27-yard line. Lamons coming the other way. That might be
Horse collar.
a horse collar. I don't see a flag though. Chauncey Gardner made the tackle. 59-yard punt. Johnny Townsend, great kick. Well, you judge for yourself. South Carolina on offense when we come back. And now Quicken Loans presents today's Scholar Athletes. For South Carolina, Elliott Fry, their all-time leading scorer in South Carolina history, 2-time SEC academic honor roll. Austin Appleby, 4-0 in sports. Congratulations to both those young men. Quicken Loans' commitment to the investment of our future shown today by donating $1,000 to South Carolina and Florida's general scholarship funds. There's those two guys. Fry hasn't added to his 336 points yet today, but he would like to. And Austin Appleby's had as good a game as he's had in a while on the afternoon with 2 touchdown passes and just 1 tip pass that was intercepted. South Carolina trying to establish something on the ground, and Rico Dowdle maybe got a yard there.
Yeah, it's going to be Sherritt coming off that defensive end on the backside. To stop the run, you got to read your keys. You got to cancel gaps. You got to squeeze blocks and tackles. And number 17, Sherritt, did a really nice job there.
Jake Bentley has been ineffective so far after 3 great starts at home in Columbia. He's had a couple of passes dropped that his receivers should have had that could have made a difference. 2nd down and 9. He looks down the middle, and he goes down in the middle of the pocket. Pocket collapsed, and Brian Cox, with that big club on his left hand, comes up with a 3rd sack of the day for the Gators.
Well, this is a too-high safety look, and the way to beat man coverage is to isolate or cross. They want to cross. I think he wants to go the ball there, but these guys bump into each other, so he has to pull it down, and only rushing floor. Florida's pass rush able to get the The signal caller and quarterback for the Gamecocks down once again.
Brian's daddy would be proud of that one. The defensive line coach for the Falcons.
The offsides there. They don't throw the flag.
And a one-hopper incomplete intended for Dowdle.
I think Caleb Brantley, as there's a Gator down, was offsides there.
That's Brian Cox Jr. who just made the sack.
Boom.
Again, another Florida injury, and we've seen way too much of this over the last 2 weeks. South Carolina will have to punt when we come back. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by LGV20, USAA, Done. And by Wheels Up. Brian Cox Jr. get some help walking. He had just had a sack on the previous play. And he's got a sleeve on his left. I actually think it's his right knee that he hurt on that last play. At any rate, much like we told you a week ago, 5 guys went down in the Arkansas game. Several other Gators in the first half today, and it just keeps getting worse. Antonio Callaway waits at the 35. He's had a big run called back. He's got the makings of one here. Crosses midfield and steps out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 14-0 Florida. They're in great field position. Coming up tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern over on CBS Sports Network. Number 22 Boise State fights to keep its Mountain West title hopes alive with a trip to Honolulu and a battle with the Rainbow Warriors, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Best in Boise. He's a good one.
Yeah, they call him McNichols, the McWeapon. Jeremy McNichols just does a little bit of everything, a very effective runner. But Boise losing that game to Wyoming really hurt their chances to win the Mountain Division and get to the championship game.
Empty backfield, Appleby on first down, flushed out of the pocket. And he's going to keep this. And he goes into the South Carolina sideline. He might have gotten a half yard out of it. He's run out of bounds by Kelsey Griffin. So Appleby's done a nice job with his legs today. Remember, he had that one long run in the first quarter that got him down to the 6-yard line, and then he hits Deontay Lewis with the first scoring toss of the day.
When we talked to the defensive coordinator, Travaris Robinson, who they call T-Rob, they said, we were worried about 12's legs. We know that that mobility adds an extra dimension to this offense, and we saw it pretty early on with that zone read that he ran, but we also saw it right there where he extended the play and avoided a sack.
Second down. Shook off a couple of would-be tacklers and went for 14 yards. Well, he's had a good day today.
He certainly has, but he's following his offensive lineman. Keep a look here. Just good blocks at the point of attack, running a power game. And then it's going to be Scarlett that bounces to the outside. Really nice job on the outside by Ahmad Fullwood right there to get the kick-out block. That's what you want to see when you're running the football, is good blocks at the point of attack and your receivers doing their job downfield as well.
Scarlett, who only had 15 yards last week against Arkansas, got 97 on 10 carries today. P-Ride's in there for him right now. Quick play action. Just getting rid of it was Appleby. Nobody out there as far as a receiver.
Really nice job of the defensive backfield for the Gamecocks to respond and read that clearly. When you see that formation, that was film study for them. And it ended up being Chris Lamons breaking on that football, and a nice decision by Appleby to give one of the fans here in the swamp a souvenir.
Got a flag down, and officials with a meeting around the 43-yard line. Not sure if we had an illegal substitution or what. Flag was after the play, I
Intentional
thought.
grounding.
Intentional grounding.
Number 12. Ball's placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. Second down.
I told you there's nobody home where the pass went.
Yeah, we talked about him giving a souvenir for the fan. Antonio Callaway coming across in motion. He turns, there's nothing there, but he fires it to the stands. The ball has to go past the line of scrimmage, which I'm pretty sure it does there, but that wasn't an honest attempt to try and complete it to Callaway. And another penalty for the Gators.
And it locks it down. Swing pass out of the flat. Front right, dropped immediately. So he lost a couple. That's third down and even longer.
Good job by the Gamecocks there of flattening out, setting the edge, forcing the flow and the football back inside to where their defense was pursuing to the football.
Boy, after that nice run by Scarlett to get a first down at the 36, Florida's going the wrong direction by 10 yards, 11 yards.
Pretty good on third down here today, 3 for 5, but this is going to be a tough make.
Third and 20, the screen with Callaway. Doesn't have any blockers in front of him, though. And it'll be fourth down. And I would think this would be out of the range of Pinheiro. His career long is 54. But he's going to give it a shot. This is going to be right about out his career long.
Right at.
Eddie hit that 54-yarder against Kentucky earlier this year.
And remember, earlier in the game, we saw Yerrick Jones block a kick. This one's probably going to come out low because of the distance.
Pinheiro to try to tie his career high. Kick on the way. And it is a beauty. Got it.
Kickers, man.
A lot of fun when you can do this. 54-yarder right down the middle. 17-0 Florida.
Adam Zucker with the Heisman Watch, presented by the new Nissan Titan. It's the true freshman who plays like a senior. Jalen Hurts, close to 300 yards passing, but he's running here, nearing 100 on the ground right now against Mississippi State. They lead 30-3. Other quarterbacks in the national title hunt. Deshaun Watson leads Clemson against Pitt today, trying to clinch the Atlantic Division, and J.T. Barrett needs 2 total touchdowns to break Drew Brees' Big Ten record. Back to Gainesville.
All right, Adam, thanks. 17-0 Florida, which has had 3 Heisman winners in its time here in Gainesville. 17-0 lead. That was a short drive. 6 plays went 13 yards due to penalties. But it was capped by this guy's 54-yard field goal. Second time he's hit from 54 here at the Swamp this year, and he's given his team a 17-0 lead.
One of those Heisman Trophy winners, Steve Spurrier, was talking with Pinheiro after practice on Wednesday. He's got a little thing for the kickers. He really likes this kid.
Now, South Carolina's really struggled on offense. They came in riding a 3-game winning streak, but all those games were at home. And today at the Swamp, 4 punts, then a fumble, another punt, halftime, and a punt the last time they had it.
I mean, how do you have a 10-play, 38-yard drive? I don't even know how that's possible. Somehow South Carolina's done it. We talked about it at halftime. I think the Gamecocks need to open up this offense. They played very conservatively, but they're not built to come back. I think we need to see some more of those 50-50 balls to Deebo Samuel, Hayden Hurst, and Brian Edwards, some of those guys that can go up and get it.
Bentley in the gun on first down. Wants to throw out of the flat screen, and Rico Dowdle incompletes. We just had Adam with the Heisman Watch. Jake Bentley, Opelika High School, they were talking, you know, he's a junior, and then he came straight here. So I think he's got a ways to go. But he does present hope in Columbia, especially the way he's played prior to this anyway. Bobby, running back coach at South Carolina. His brothers, Chase played quarterback at Rutgers. His other brother, Schuler, played at Old Dominion. So he's a gym rat. And he'll get better and better as time goes by. Here's Samuel. And they get it in his hands if they can't throw it to him, and he can catch it. get him any kind of plays like that for Deebo Samuel. And now Rico Dowdle is the guy that's down. They're starting running back.
Brian Edwards was a little limpy there. He got a nice block, but taking a look at Rico Dowdle, the true freshman playmaker for the Gamecocks.
Well, I'm all for next guy up and all that, but we've seen way too much of this in the last 2 weeks. Rico Dowdle starting tailback, trying to lead the way for Samuel, goes down, trying to throw a block, and then Samuel lands on his lower right leg right there. And South Carolina is down. A.J. Turner is not here today, so they're down to David Williams as their main back now. And again, you see him landing on the lower leg of Rico Dowdle, who's been on a roll, the freshman, and helped off the field here. I don't know how many more guys we can see go down for Florida, especially, but South Carolina now.
Yeah, it's been a triage unit for both of these teams. And remember, South Carolina against Missouri really struggled to run the football in the first half, only 1.6 yards per carry, but really opened it up in the second half. The Gamecocks would love to do that here, but I just don't know if they have the bodies. It might fall on the shoulders of Jake Bentley to get South Carolina back into this game, and that's going to be hard to do without a run game.
The 18-year-old shoulders of Jake Bentley takes the snap. They will keep it on the ground. Maybe a yard for David Williams. Devonis Davis made the stop. And we're down under 7 minutes in the third quarter. South Carolina been held scoreless by a Florida defense that was not good a week ago, but overall has been very good. Second ranked in the SEC, #1 against the pass. #2 in scoring defense. And of course, you say who's #1. I guess we don't have to tell you if you watch Alabama football, but it's Alabama. Second down and 9. Play action. Bentley in trouble again in the pocket. Going down again at the 30-yard line. And he just got chewed up inside there. Taven Bryan was there. Davis was there. And Bentley hits the turf for a loss of 5.
First player here is going to get there off this outside edge. This is really hard for the center to get a back block there, making it virtually impossible. So Taven Bryan's initially getting the pressure. He misses the sack. Bentley escapes, but then that pursuit and that defensive line, which runs 10 deep, Devonis Davis and company doing a nice job getting to the quarterback.
Third and a whole bunch for South Carolina. Bentley running out of time again. This time he got away, trying to get to the edge. Flags are down as he goes down to the 30. We're going to have a holding call on top of the run by Bentley that maybe got a yard.
Holding. Offense. Number 74. That penalty is declined. It's fourth down.
And the kind of penalty is fourth down at about 14 anyway.
That's left tackle Mason Zandy, a fifth-year senior, on that call. Man, this Florida front seven had 16 pressures against Georgia by 12 different players. They got a ton of dudes who can rush the passer, and it was that pass rush on that last series. They're getting themselves off the field, getting the ball back to their offense.
Don Kelly staring downfield at number 81, who's been on the cusp of taking one for a touchdown today. He did have one of 76 yards that was called back. He's going to have to take a fair catch here around the 22-yard line. We've got time for Adam Zucker in our New York studio with a Ford update. Adam.
All right, Brad, we're scoreboard watching for Florida fans. Tennessee, though, looking good right now. Josh Dobbs gets it back on the flea flicker. Third touchdown pass of the game goes to Josh Malone. He gets in. Vols on top 28-16. Gators hoping that Tennessee would go down. Couple that with a win and take the East today.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
Things are shaping up right now for Florida. 17-0 lead. Again, they have the tiebreaker over Kentucky, but not Tennessee. But that's not what they're worried about right now. But remember, Florida still got LSU to come next week.
Yeah, Tennessee would have to win their last 3 games against Kentucky today, and at Missouri and at Vandy, and have Florida lose 1 or 2 that are controlled here. So to your point, that rescheduled November 19th game against LSU could be a pretty pivotal one here for the Gators.
Penalty marker before the snap.
False start. Offense. Number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Harkless, who's playing left tackle because David Sharp went down with an injury earlier. He picks up the penalty. Tuesday on NCIS. Robert Wagner returns to NCIS to guest star on TV's #1 drama. Don't miss a surprising new episode Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. First down at 15, back at the 18 now. And Scarlett gets to the 25 and should get to over 100.
Right before that play started, I saw tight end Keontae Lewis clapping to his team, trying to provide some leadership there. And that's one of the things that you miss when you have players go down, is who's going to be that next leader. Well, Luke Del Rio certainly was that, but with him going down, it takes players like Keontae Lewis to get things going. You see him, come on, guys, let's go, keep it together. That's the communication that you need to be a team that's trying to take the next step and lock up the SEC East as Appleby takes a timeout here.
We'll take one as well. Second down and 8 when we return. 4:18, third quarter, Gators by 17. It's the game that marches to its own beat. All guts, all grit, all glory. Army-Navy game presented by USAA coming up December 10th on CBS. And after the timeout by Appleby, second down and 8, an empty backfield. They take the fly sweep, and he throws out on the flat to Keontae Lewis, who there was just talking about trying to fire up his team. That'll help the cause a little bit. Pick up a 9. Lamont knocked him out of bounds with a first down.
Yeah, it's a fly sweep with a divide action. They bring Keontae Lewis across the formation, and a very high percentage pass, an accurate throw by 12.
He's been sharp with the exception of one pass over the middle late in the second quarter that was tipped and intercepted. Other than that, he's been on point today.
Tell you what, as well as he's played, though, I think the story for the Gators so far has been their run game. Both he and Scarlett are both averaging 10 yards a carry.
Scarlett is over 100 yards, and just barely now that he lost a little bit on that play. 12 carries for 103 for Jordan.
Nice job there of getting some penetration by South Carolina. It was Taylor Stallworth, number 90. Had a couple pass breakups a week ago, but
I'm all for a tempo for Florida and all of that because I think it's helped spark their offense, but I don't know what they're in a hurry about. They got a 17-point lead.
Well, you don't want to start taking your foot off the gas pedal and playing conservative here with still 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Maybe you start to do that in the middle of the fourth, but you want to do the best thing you can to keep the offense.
Blitz was coming to throw. Just throw it up to Ahmad Fullwood, who's already got a touchdown today. And as Appleby was getting drilled, he gave his wide receiver a chance, and Fullwood pulled it in.
Here he is in the number 2 wide receiver position, just a great route, and goes up and high points the football. Coming into this game, those South Carolina receivers doing a good job, but Fullwood did great there.
Pick up at 30, and now back to the ground game. And it's Cronkright who picks up 13 more, and Florida is moving.
There's that tempo we talked about. Man, after you get a first down, getting back up to the line of scrimmage, it catches the defense flat-footed. They're not lined up. South Carolina wasn't ready for that last play, which is why they just got a big gash on the ground to that left side on that last one.
You saw a complete line change, if you will, for Florida as the wideouts all came back in. Powell and Callaway up on top. Scarlett comes back into the backfield, and it's a first down at the 24 for Florida. Inside handoff. Scarlett moves the pile. Got it down to the 20. Second down at 6, and we're at 2 minutes right now remaining in the third quarter.
I'll tell you what, man, Jordan Scarlett's a physical downhill runner. Been really impressed with his feet and his patience on these stretch plays. They've been running a lot of power, a lot of outside zone, trying to get the football either off tackle or to the perimeter. And the thing I like about him is he takes what's there and he keeps his legs driving and move the pile like he did a minute ago.
You saw Florida with 157 on the ground. Scarlett's majority, though, is a career-high day for him so far. Throw the outside pile, caught it twice, and then got leveled.
Yep, there we go, face mask.
Jordan Diggs. And they'll tack down the penalty.
You're going to throw those quick routes outside. They have to be right on the numbers for the receiver. Powell had to go up high and catch it. That threw the timing off. Allowed the defensive back to break on it. Jordan Diggs But Diggs, with a costly penalty, you see him breaking down, getting square. Actually, that was Diggs right there. Lamont was on the outside, just grabs him around and about the face and neck area.
I'm not sure he ever got his fingers inside the face mask, but he did take his head
There's no
for a
foul
spin.
on the play.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wiping it away.
All right. I know the fans aren't going to like it, but we had another look, and he kept his hand on the back of the helmet. He did try to take his head off, but he didn't take his face mask off.
Good job by Powell to get the ball, but yeah, he's got it caught in his...
That's a good call.
Now, had he wrapped his fingers up underneath the back of the helmet, you can still call face mask if that was the case, but it wasn't.
Let's take a look at the Verizon Red Zone today. 3 trips in there, a couple of touchdowns, and they had 1 turnover.
Look at that communication there by Appleby. Setting protections, telling the guys on his team who to read.
3rd and 5. Quick throw. Dropped by Callaway. He was thinking about heading to the end zone. Forgot to take the ball with him.
Callaway will do that. Concentration drops when your eyes get big. Great route, pushes him, almost breaks the ankles there of the defender. But he tries to run before he has the football secured. Takes his eye off it at the last second because Jamarcus King, he broke his ankles. But again, not following through on the play forces the Gators to kick another field goal here after a really impressive drive.
Eddie Pinheiro, this should be a chip shot for him after a 54-yarder the last time out. This is from 36 to try to make it 20-0, and he does. Field goal's good. 52 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Pinheiro is now 13 of 17 on the year, and he has stretched the lead to 20-0 Gators. Tomorrow, now that Donald Trump is the president-elect, he's going to do one big interview. Where? Where else? 60 Minutes. Tomorrow, only on CBS. On this Veterans Day weekend, nice to have you along with us from the Swamp. It has not been good for Jake Bentley today. Only 7 out of 17. Meanwhile, Austin Appleby, a graduate transfer from Purdue, playing in his 3rd game for the Gators because of Luke Del Rio's injury. And boy, he's been spot on it today. 16 out of 20 for Austin, 195 and 2 touchdowns. And also has gained some good yardage on the ground.
Florida's been dominating on both lines of scrimmage, really controlling the ball offensively and grinding out that run game. And 5 sacks today by that front 7. They've been in their ears back and getting after it for an offense that looks pretty good coming into today, winning 3 straight. But you have to wonder if getting those 3 wins with 5 home games, how this crowd playing on the road is affecting all of the Gamecocks' young playmakers.
And Eddie Pinheiro is just getting stronger as he goes. After a couple of field goals, he will blast it out of the end zone. So out to the 25 it comes. Coming up next, Home Depot SEC on CBS keeps rolling along. Cats and dog fight as the Tigers throw down between the hedges with Nick Chubb and the Bulldogs right here on CBS Sports. And a question, I guess, for Cam Petway, whether or not he's going to play might be a game-time decision. And that means that'll put just a little more pressure on the rest of the backfield for Auburn. Georgia, 3rd in the SEC in rushing defense, so something might have to give a little bit there.
Yeah, strange things happen in that game, and Auburn hasn't won in Athens since 2005.
Vern, Gary, and Allie will have it when we're done here. Meanwhile, South Carolina trying to muster some offense. Pickup of maybe 3 by David Williams before Quincy Wilson wrapped him out of bounds.
South Carolina offense has really struggled to get things going here as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Only 8 plays in this half for 2 total yards. Struggling to run it, struggling to protect when they're throwing it. This Gator defense has shown up to play today.
Bentley, a quick slant, complete. K.C. Crosby, the tight end, and he's got a first down at the 37, and that might be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Took a shot by Caleb Brantley that time as well. Man, stood in there strong, though, delivered an accurate pass.
Well, Florida pitching a shutout, and the former Florida coach, Will Muschamp, on his return to the Swamp, hoping that somehow his Gamecocks can come up with some offense in the fourth quarter. If not, Florida's hopes for the SEC East stay alive. That's the end of 3.
That's the end of the third quarter.
With Florida in command. Florida leads South Carolina 20-0 here in Gainesville. We'll be back at the Swamp after this message and a word from your local stations. Jeff Collins' team pitching a shutout right now as defensive coordinator with a lot of missing ingredients, and so far haven't given up a point to South Carolina. Jeff was talking about right now's defensive turnovers on the board, and then it goes in the locker room. They just don't let him write in red or green Sharpie because he's colorblind, and he can't read it. He's colorblind, he's left-handed, and he said they spelled my name, my mom and dad, G-E-O-F-F. I don't know what's wrong with me. But he's a heck of a defensive coordinator anyway.
That way to overcome odds.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's doing a John Cena there. You can't see me. 15 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter starts with South Carolina at the 38-yard line. And around coming to Debo Samuel. And Florida's all over it. Dropped by Marcel Harris for a loss.
Beautiful job by Marcel Harris of getting to that outside. Here he is right here at the top of the screen. He's going to flatten out and get width. Just does a nice job of closing in on Samuel, who scored a touchdown a week ago on that same play, the speed sweep. They're using him more as a running back because of the injury to Rico Dowdle.
Hayden Hurst was trying to lead the way, but he might have wanted to get a piece of Harris there as the blocker instead. And now got an interception intended for Hurst and picked off by Harris. 2 great plays by the junior safety out of Orlando.
That is the first interception of the season for the true freshman, Jake Bentley. He's had such an incredible year, but on his first true road test, since he's taken over the keys of this offense, Marcel Harris makes him pay big time. He'll be looking for this pen to sign the board here shortly.
I think he's got the Sharpie already. He's making his way over there to the grease board. There's Jeff Collins, the defensive coordinator. Okay, I'm going to take a few handshakes first, and then let me at this thing. Here we go. He's going. Where did I get that? Give me the yard line.
Ball came out late. He just did a nice job of breaking on it, cutting the angle and coming underneath.
Florida starts in South Carolina territory. Broken tackle. Jordan Scarlett, who's had a big game, career high in rushing right now.
Doesn't really step into that throw. Hayden Hurst had a big drop on 3rd down. Just gets undercut there by Harris. Kind of lazy with his feet. Puts way too much air underneath that. That needs to be a drive throw. He's got to step in on it, put some mustard on it. Just too lackadaisical, and the true freshman pays for it with an interception.
2nd down at the 42. The clock is in Florida's favor. The scoreboard obviously is. Appleby is going to run it here. He'll lose some yardage, but he'll also use up some time. Darius English made the stop. Big difference last week and this week.
That defense has been outstanding. Look at that. I mean, Arkansas, they routed them, man. They came out and kind of snowballed on the Gators, but these guys have a lot of pride. There were so many injuries. They were on the road. But back here at home, they're playing to their strengths. They're pitching a shutout right now against an offense who's been pretty dang good, getting better by the week with a trio of young playmakers for the Gamecocks.
3rd down and 7 for the Gator offense. Appleby into a sack. Darius English, who's made back-to-back plays. Nice job along with Marquavius Lewis to bring him down.
Yeah, it's too bad. He had Antonio Callaway on a crossing route there, but the pressure got there a little too early, and he had to pull the ball down and takes another sack. Nice response there that time by the Gamecocks, who are hanging around, but based on what we've seen from them offensively, you wonder if they've got enough in the tank here on the road to even give them a shot to come back in this game. If they could get a sudden score here with a big play on special teams, that'd be a good start.
this one go? Will it make it to the end zone? No, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Beautiful. Wow.
Nick Washington getting the tip. Remember, in college football, as long as the ball stays outside the end zone, you're good.
South Carolina's got it back offensively, but they need points, and they need them in a hurry when we come back.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
Didn't take Florida long to score. Seante Lewis, a 6-yard touchdown pass, just 3:43 into the game, and then Appleby hooks up with a nod forward in the second quarter, 14-0. Some miscues in the red zone by Florida, or the lead could be bigger. That's the interception he threw just before halftime. But then you add in Eddie Pinheiro, a career long-time 54-yard field goal. He added another one at 36. And then Jake Bentley throws his first interception of the season, picked up by Marcel Harris. And that's about where we stand right now, along with, don't forget, Jordan Scarlett, who's had a career game, 111 yards on 14 carries. So that's been the story. Florida doing it in a variety of ways. Their defense pitching a shutout. South Carolina unable to get anything going on the road behind their freshman quarterback. And there's your story from the Swamp so far.
What's impressive about what Scarlett's been able to do is that they lost their center, who was a backup to begin with, Tyler Jordan, their left tackle, David Sharp. Tavares Harkless has been able to come in along with T.J. McCoy, whose father Tony played here back in the day, have come in and done a really nice job blocking up front for the impressive Scarlett.
Waiting for South Carolina to snap it at the 20-yard line. By the way, before we went to break, they ruled that the punt coverage man for Florida's foot was in the end zone before he tapped it out, so it was a touchback. That's why they're starting at the 20-yard line. Bentley, quick slant, a little bit high, but a first down throw, and it's out to the 35-yard line to Brian Edwards. I got a feeling these two will grow together, Edwards and Bentley, both freshmen. Bentley a little bit hobbled after that catch, but first down out to the 35.
Take a look. Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's not. The longest drive, 38 yards on 10 plays. That's less than 4 yards per play. That's just not good enough offensively on the road in this conference.
First, the motion man to the slot left on first down. I want to throw a screen, and Florida just blows it up. A loss of 2. Adam Zucker's got an update in New York. Adam.
Indeed, Brad. Gators in control there, but they need Kentucky to come back if they want to clinch the SEC East today. However, Tennessee's Alvin Kamara looking healthy. 99 yards on 9 carries, and the Vols up 35-16 late in the third quarter. Guys?
The Tennessee fans are scratching their head, kind of like the Florida fans are here today after what happened a week ago. The standings, as you see them, Florida controlling its own destiny, trying to get to Atlanta. They still got LSU on the schedule, but today they're playing well, especially defensively. Maybe until that play. Great run after catch by Deebo Samuel.
Third-year player Deebo Samuel, inside of one of the better cornerbacks in the country. There's about 25 scouts I've seen so far here today. A lot of them are looking at number 6, Quincy Wilson.
Samuel got it to midfield for a first down. David Williams in the backfield with Bentley. They fake it to him. Jake wants to throw long down the sideline. A real route, but it's broken up. Nice job defensively. Rashawn Joseph. Oh, maybe not a good job defensively. Penalty marker down. It was intended for David Williams, and Rashawn Joseph, the freshman, another freshman outside linebacker on the coverage. And Brad Rogers with a call.
Pass interference. Defense number 11. Ball's placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, he never turned around. Good call.
Correction, it's a 15-yard foul.
Time permitting, the Jeep post-game show coming up when our game is finished. So with the penalty, it moves the line of scrimmage to the 35-yard line. And we're approaching 10 minutes remaining in this one. Second half of our doubleheader, of course, is between the Hedges, 9th-ranked Auburn, and Georgia. Vern, Gary, and Alley will have that call for you when we're done here. A quick opening draw, and it does open up pretty nicely down to the 30-yard line for David Williams, and David Reese made the tackle.
It's pretty important if you're a defensive player to pitch a shutout. All of last year, there were only 40-41, if my memory serves me correctly, with all the games that got played in 2015. Considering this is a conference game with a hot offense, this is pretty important for the Gators. Not only from a pride standpoint, this game is in hand, but costly penalties pushing this Gamecock offense down the field.
Here's Talley, the fourth tailback, and backpedals his way for a first down. Nice run by Rod Talley, a junior out of Lawrence, South Carolina. And right now, believe it or not, as we play 3 quarters and about 4.5 minutes, this is the deepest penetration of the day for the South Carolina offense.
Wow, almost play for play, but look at the difference in the yardage right here. South Carolina really struggling here on the road to get anything going against the SEC's second-best defense.
Closing in on the 9-minute mark. Hurst, the tight end, was in motion. They give it off on the ground to Talley again. And this time he doesn't tally as much. Lost a yard. 9 minutes left. South Carolina's got to get in and out of the huddle or just plain not huddle, as every moment is going to count here.
South Carolina's only 2 for 11 on 3rd down today. Really struggling to make conversions there. So considering it's 2nd and 11 here, 1st and 2nd down contribute heavily to what happens on 3rd down. Look for a middle range throw here to eat up some of this yards, give them a makeable run after this.
Is again high, but Samuel pulls it down around the 21-yard line, where it is going to be 3rd down and close to 7. Samuel, going to be interesting when they play Clemson. Last year he had 105 yards receiving, and I wonder if he ever ran by the Clemson sideline as Debo said hello to Dabo. You know? Hey, coach, we're close.
Well, he goes up and gets those 50-50 balls. He reminds me from Debo from the movie Friday, saying that's mine. He goes up and gets it. Tremendous catch radius and really soft hands.
That's where his dad came up with a nickname. His real name's Tyshawn. 3rd down and 6. Bentley has time. Lofts it to the corner to Hurst. And it's broken. And it's Nick Washington.
Great job by Hayden Hurst there to prevent an interception. That was clearly pass interference. He grabbed Wilson's arm all over, Washington there. Watch his right arm. He sees the ball's coming and he pulls that right shoulder to prevent Washington from catching that football. Now, Washington was going to try and bat it down, which is great DB play. But that's also a heads-up play there by Hurst.
That's 4-down territory for South Carolina, trailing by 20. So 4th down, they've got to get to the 14-yard line of Florida to keep the drive going. Field goal does them no good other than to say we weren't shut out. So let's see what they come up with on 4th down. Bentley out in the flat, completes it to Talley. Made one man miss. Talley inside the 5. He's close. He's at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal.
I thought he got in there. He fell a little bit short. Might have stepped on the line there, but great job in the open field, making the defender miss. Yeah, that left foot gets outside right there. The line judge right on top of it. Nice job.
Talley's going to get the carry again. He got dropped in his tracks by Jordan Sherritt. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Enjoyed watching Sherritt plays. Kind of an undersized defensive end, but really nice job penetrating in almost every game this season.
Talley, who had a nice job on that series to get him close, goes out, and the bigger back, David Williams, at 220 comes in. Remember, Rico Dowdle, their starter at tailback, went out with an injury earlier. 11th play of the drive. It's covered 79 yards, and South Carolina trying to finally score as we just tick our way under 7. And here is Williams. Touchdown, South Carolina. Finally, took him a long time, and it's a 1-yard touchdown plunge by David Williams.
That's just a simple inside zone with fly motion, pretending to give the ball to Debo Samuel. Remember, they gave it to Debo Samuel in their game a week ago against Missouri, and he scored going to the right, just like we saw there. That was the counter play to the touchdown a week ago, and a nice job running up inside behind left guard Zach Bailey, a player we highlighted here in the open that needed to have a critical day today up front for the Gamecocks.
Elliott Fry for the point after, tucks it inside the left upright. Talley with that reception, a great move. He got him down close, and then to cap an 80-yard drive in 11 plays and finally get in the end zone. David Williams scores for South Carolina, 20-7 Gators. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Jeep. John Hancock. Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. And by Chick-fil-A. That's our crew doing the mannequin challenge. That's the way they all look when the check comes for dinner. The same exact move. And we got the cheerleaders in the act. Nice stop action. Good mannequin challenge stuff. Started with a group of high school friends from Edward H. White High School in Jacksonville. Created the first video. And it, of course, has gone nationwide. And just having a little fun with the mannequin challenge. Well, you would expect maybe an onside kick, although Florida has got everybody back expecting Elliott Fry to kick away.
A lot of skill guys out there, a couple defensive linemen deep in the back. South Carolina has to do something to try and steal some possessions. But Florida needs to be heads up.
And Fry will kick away. Brandon Powell, about 5 yards deep, will take a knee. So Florida has a 13-point lead, 6:53 remaining. South Carolina with 3 timeouts remaining. On Monday, all-new Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Don't miss Senator Bernie Sanders plus Eddie Redmayne, followed by an all-new James Corden. That's Monday, only CBS. For the Gators, who have not lost at home this year. Basically the same time of possession as South Carolina, but boy, they have done a lot more with it. A 20-7 lead. They'd just like to get Jordan Scarlett some more yards here and let the clock wind away with 6:53 remaining in the ballgame. And it is Jordan Scarlett. Left side, moving the pile again. I'm telling you, he makes contact. He's getting help from his offensive line. The Buffet Busters up front are doing a good job, but he got about 4 more there, so he just keeps grinding.
Yeah, those are the pancake eaters on that left side of the offensive line. That was really where Florida found some running room against Tennessee. Stretch plays, just getting outside. Scarlett, he's a big physical back with tremendous leg drive. He did a nice job getting some yards after contact there once the defensive line and Yerrick Jones and company showed up.
Second down and 6. Let's see how far Appleby take down. Down to 8 as they snap it. Got to the 7 level, and he might have a first down. I think he does. Stephen Montack made the stop, but they moved the chains. Don't forget, coming up before we're done, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. And some nice highlights. Appleby, a couple of his touchdown throws are in the mix. On senior day at Florida, 16 guys playing their final game in a Florida Gator uniform. Some are going to get the opportunity, obviously, to go on and play in the next level. Some might never put another helmet on. At least not at home. Scarlett, 4 or 5 more. And we work our way down. It's going to be close to 5 minutes or less when they snap it. And the Gators trying to go and about to go to 7-2, 5-2 in the SEC. And trying to get back to Atlanta for their 2nd year in a row.
Florida Gators certainly in their 4-minute offense, which is the opposite of the 2-minute offense. You want to take as much time off the clock as you can, and that starts with the offensive linemen up front that have to play the game with an aggressive mentality and with an attitude. And so far, even with a bunch of replacements, they've done that.
Only a yard gain that time. Lewis made the stop on Jordan Scarlett. So Scarlett has been the workhorse. 18 carries, 127 yards. carries was against Georgia, 26, but he's already well surpassed his career yardage mark for a single game.
I think the play call here is a high percentage pass, maybe a screen pass if you're even going to throw it. If not, run and draw. Interesting that Appleby has taken the football under center here. Oh, okay, there he goes. Watch the late draw or screen here.
Looks to his right, goes to his right. Brandon Powell's to his right, and it's first down. Nice safe throw. Brandon Powell has had a good game today. Picks up 7, and they'll move the chains, and the clock will wind under 4 minutes.
That's a big-time throw. Florida today, 4 for 9 on 3rd down. Coaching staff showing a lot of confidence in him there. They put the ball in the air against a team that wants to get the ball back. You need to convert, and you trust Austin Appleby making his first home start of the season and his first against that road game against Vanderbilt. Kid delivered.
First down at the 47. Ryan in the backfield now, and he's going to lose yardage. Swarmed under by Kelsey Griffin, one of the defensive tackles, who helps Lamichael back to his feet. And we've got a timeout taken by South Carolina with 3:15 remaining and
South Carolina
13. Gators leading 20-7 here with 3:19 remaining in their home game at the Swamp. And the remaining schedule, Tennessee and Kentucky still playing. Adam and the guys will bring you up to date on that, time permitting, when we're done. But there's the rest of the schedule for the Volunteers. Mizzou and then at Vandy. For Florida, the lead here, they hold on. They're at LSU next week, and then they wrap up with Florida State, which doesn't matter as far as the SEC is concerned.
Yeah, and if you're Tennessee, the bottom line is you have to win out against Kentucky, Missouri, and Vandy, and Florida needs to lose next week to LSU on the road.
Tennessee 35-22, they tell us right now. Florida trying to ice it with their ground game, and Jordan Scarlett, who has worked so hard today, picks up 3 more before Lamons puts it down. And another timeout taken by South Carolina with 3:13 remaining, and they're down to 1 timeout. South Carolina can only stop it 1 more time should the Gators be able to pick up a first down, but they do have 3rd and long remaining from their own 46-yard line. Last time on 3rd down, Appleby calmly whipped it out to Brandon Powell. Move the chains, see what he comes up with here.
3rd 12 is a much different situation. I think you got to go a high percentage pass, but got DeAndre Goolsby, Keontae Lewis, Morrill Stevens, and Jordan Scarlett, defensive ball carriers.
It is Scarlett. And he got it out to the 49. We'll send it out to New York and Adam Zucker.
Fred, a look at Cam Petway. The Auburn battering ram likely reduced to cheering today. Gus Malzahn told Ali LaForce, his running back, pretty doubtful for the game against Georgia coming up at 3:45 Eastern. Carryon Johnson will be carrying the load. They need to beat Georgia today to stay within a game of Alabama and make that Iron Bowl decide the SEC West. Brad and Aaron, back to you guys.
Thanks, Adam. Carryon Johnson, not a bad guy to lean back on, as he's 10th in the SEC in rushing, averaging 5 yards a carry, and I think he scored 9 touchdowns. So it's not like they're going to chop liver after Cam Petway, but takes away a big guy in the backfield for sure. Thompson comes in to punt. It's 4th down and 8. Chris Lamons will trot back around the 10-yard line. Florida didn't score anymore. They really didn't need to, but they did run about 4 minutes off the clock, which is more important to them right now than anything else. Well, they tried to come after the punter a little bit. Lamons on the other end takes it to 7. And made one guy miss, got it out over the 15, close to the 18-yard line. So South Carolina is out of timeouts.
Quincy Wilson makes the tackle.
Just under 3 minutes remaining.
I think defensive coordinator Jeff Collins' unit has played really, really well, rebounding after a pretty poor performance a week ago in Fayetteville against the South Carolina team. They've done a nice job, man. I really enjoyed speaking with Jeff and getting his global philosophy about cross-training guys in positions so that they have a total understanding of what everybody's supposed to do defensively. And oh yeah, by the way, it doesn't hurt when you got a ton of young talented players on that side of the ball as well.
No doubt about it. Jake Bentley steps up in the pocket, throws on a crossing route up to the 24 to David Williams. But the ball stays in bounds. The clock continues to move. They're trying to get lined up in a hurry. Hurst is one of the last back to the line of scrimmage at tight end. 2nd down and 4. Bentley, the safety valve, as Williams out in the flat. A couple of defenders there to stop him for no gain. David Reese, one of them. And we're under 2.5 to play.
Good job checking the ball down that time by Bentley. But what's happened on these last few passes, they've completed them, but they've stayed in bounds, so they're bleeding time here quickly.
Obviously 2-down territory. They don't pick this up. Bentley has to throw short, got it to Hurst. Hurst puts his head in there and gets it to the 34-yard line for a 1st down.
And you see the line judge there winding the clock. Hurst didn't get out of bounds.
It'll stop momentarily to move the sticks, but then it's going to wind again. Last time Will Muschamp was here at the Swamp, he was the Gators head coach. They lost to Steve Spurrier in South Carolina, and the next day he lost his job. And now he's back trying to muster something here in the last 2 minutes. With his Gamecocks who came in on a 3-game winning streak, and Hayden Hurst. They still got something going, and Hurst is still going all the way down inside the 20-yard line. 47 yards on the pass, catch, and run.
Look how far the safety was way late getting over, and Hayden Hurst just reaches out and gets that ball. That's again against Quincy Wilson, who I think's had a pretty rough afternoon. And Hurst, with a big drop early on 3rd down, responds beautifully there.
Hurst comes out. They're shaken up at the end of that play, but South Carolina's in the red zone. And a jump ball, incomplete, out of bounds, intended for Jacob August, who came in to take Hurst's spot at the tight end. Nick Washington was there, but that pass was out of bounds anyway. And the clock stopped with 1:25. Hayden Hurst came in as a leading receiver as far as number of catches. None bigger than that 47-yarder that has them at least still in the hunt. And then at 25.
Have to wonder why South Carolina waited so long to try and stretch the field vertically.
It's going to be a false start on the 77. Bentley goes down anyway. And it was Malik Young who jumped on the right side.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Credit that error to the home Florida crowd here. Super loud. They're doing their job. Malik Young just can't hear the snap count. Being an offensive lineman that's been on the road, I can't tell you how hard it is to try and hear the quarterback when you got a dude that's pinning his ears back in a meaningful situation.
That's only his 2nd penalty against South Carolina, but it puts him in a tough spot of 2nd down and 15 for Bentley. And now he's flushed down the pocket and just throws out of desperation and completes it. And breaking a tackle is Crosby. And Crosby's down to the 11-yard line. Clock running. 13-yard pickup. Going to be down at a minute or less when the Gamecocks get lined up.
You have to have a sense of urgency, but not panic here. Take a shot at the end zone.
Under a minute to go. Bentley throw it away. Lobs it and throws it away. Stopping the clock with 54 seconds to go.
That was a good job there. Bentley getting rid of that football and not forcing it. He kept the play alive. But remember, time is of the essence. Only 54 seconds left here. They don't have any timeouts, and they have to score 2 touchdowns, meaning a touchdown here with a successful extra point, an onside kick, a recovery, and another touchdown and extra point to try and win this game. In the red zone, it's not about plays, it's about players. So look for Deebo Samuel and Brian Edwards to get this football.
Deebo Samuel is down to the bottom of your screen right there. Aaron just circled him at the 11-yard line. 4th down and 2. Ball game right here. Here comes the blitz. Bentley lobs it to the end zone. One-handed attempt by Hurst, but he can't hold on. Just that close to being a South Carolina touchdown. never quit till the very end, but they're going to come up short 20-7.
Well, in the end, it was just Collins' defense with some pressure up the middle that makes Bentley throw off his back foot. But if you're Hayden Hurst, man, you got to go after that ball with two hands. They had a costly drop on third down before. This was a big, meaningful game for him. Muschamp pointing him out as being the consummate type of player that he wants a roster full of. Yet close so far for the Gamecocks, with a very bright future on the offensive side of the ball, but just not enough against this good defense today.
Coach Muschamp's team's going to fall to 5-5 and 3-5 in the EC, and for Florida fans, very much still alive to try to get to a 7-2 and 5-2. And then everybody will watch the Tennessee-Kentucky game and the rest of the SEC schedule for the Vols and Jim McElwain's Gators, who play LSU next week. They only have to take one more knee, and that will do it. 5-0 at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium for the Gators this year. Here's a look at our Napa play of the game. Austin Appleby pressed into service with Del Rio hurt through a touchdown pass early, and then through a beauty to Ahmad Fullwood to make it 14-0. He did a little dance, and the Gators danced their way to a 20-7 victory this afternoon on their home turf. So here's outlooks. The standings, we can update everything in the SEC East. And it is Florida still controlling the show at 5-2. Tennessee is up 20, we understand, over Kentucky right now. So there's still some football to be played, especially the LSU matchup with the Gators next week. Let's head it down to John on the sideline. John.
Well, Coach, he's congratulating the other team right now. Coach McElwain, congratulations, a huge win. How was your defense able to bounce back and be so dominant here with this performance?
Well, I think give credit to all those new guys that played. You know, we had 3 All-Americans that were out, and then a 4th one went down, and those young guys went ahead and played their tail off, and I'm just happy for these guys. This is a good group of guys to be around. They're a lot of fun to be around. They play hard. You know, we just got to play a little better.
You know, the SEC East is still alive here. Appleby had a great performance here today. What do you do now going forward?
Yeah, he did all right. And you know what? We're going to go back to work and get up tomorrow and put a plan together. That's what it's all about. But you know what? I like this team, and our Gators are really playing.
What is it you liked about your offense? Because really the talk has been about this defense, but your offense started to click a little bit. What did you like today?
I did, but we put the ball on the ground. We don't put the ball on the ground, this thing isn't even close. But that's all right. We'll just go back to work and get her going.
Congratulations, Coach.
A lot of fun now.
Thank you.
Tell you what, he'll get up tomorrow, but the sun's going to look a little bit brighter after this 20-7 win, isn't it? That's going to wrap it up from the Swamp. 20-7, the final score. For Aaron Taylor, John Shriven, Brad Nessler saying so long from Gainesville. Jeep postgame report. Adam, Rick, BJ's coming up next, and that'll be after these messages. So long from Gainesville.